right on that hill, right by the stoplight. That was a great spot.
Do we have a good live feed?
I'm on like sign number.
I think that's what she's checking with Ryan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's got a lot of signs out.
I've got them all mapped out.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still got one on the fence down by my house.
Do I really?
Yeah.
I'm running for commissioner.
I'm running again in 4 years, so just like,
Mike, who owns the property across from you? Would they let us put a sign up if I called them?
Yeah, Jan, Ray.
I'll put that on my list of things to
Would you
go
ask them
find.
for me?
Where's,
Would you ask them for me, or at least give me a
Put one on
number?
my front yard.
It's hard when
same
people
thing.
volunteer to put your signs
Okay.
up.
Well, I mean, it's not, you have to mow your lawn, so I thought if it's just on a fence or something.
I got an island
You got a
there that's
deal?
rock
Okay,
that you don't need to.
okay, thanks.
where's it at, Mike?
Okay.
What
Oh, are
fence
we
down by
starting?
you?
It's the one that goes to the path.
Okay, now
right
it's
on
starting.
Webber.
Welcome.
really?
Should I
Right
do
on
it?
the-
Okay, welcome everyone to our budget meeting. Today is Tuesday, the 5th of June, 2000.
May.
What?
May.
5th of May. Today is the 5th of May, 2026.
we don't have to
Do we
talk
need to go
about
around?
No.
Okay, and I will turn the mic over to Jason to present our budget workshop meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. So this slide is just the required slide again, same as you saw last time. State requires that we notice this at the beginning of each meeting. We're playing it super safe and doing it every single meeting pretty much this month. But as last time, it shows the proposed impact of the tax rate as proposed by staff in the budget. So that would be the $14.80 per month in impact on the average resident. I think next slide. Okay, same as last time, just a breakdown of what's contributing to that proposed tax increase. Next slide. Next slide. Always try to think of some like inspirational thought here, but I know it's really contentious. The budget is. Everyone feels it, from staff to council to residents, and really just thank you for sticking with it. And I think that this this mission statement really is our true north as a city, and it'll help us get through discussions like this as we think about what's right for residents. How do we protect the quality of life for our residents now and into the future, and do that as efficiently as possible. And as we continue to keep that as our true north goal, we'll be able to figure things out. And so next slide, schedule again. So this is our third work session. We'll do our, this Thursday night is the tentative budget that has to be adopted according to state law. That's just the tentative budget.
Just quick question on that.
Uh-huh.
I have a whole bunch of handouts that were handed out earlier that said that we didn't need to adopt the tentative budget. I mean, you gave us all a schedule earlier.
In the state code, it says.
Is that because there's a new law or something that I'm missing?
Yes.
Yep, it's in house.
What, can you tell me what that bill is? I want to review it.
Oh,
Hammond's
boy.
got some info on it.
This is I don't have the House bill
It's on my
number.
desk.
It just says that statement of proposed tax increase proposed has to be adopted by the 5th of May? Or is it
No,
First
first
meeting.
meeting in May.
the first meeting in May? Okay.
So.
I'm looking at another cities.
We have a schedule that fortunately the tax commission has put out in conjunction with the state. Is that in conjunction with ULCT?
Yes.
So it's a nice step-by-step schedule to make sure that we're following all the key new legislation, and so that's helping us avoid any mishaps, I guess. But yes, May 7th, first regular council meeting of the month has to be the tentative budget adoption. Doesn't mean that there can't be a modified tentative budget if you decide, hey, later on we don't like the tentative. So don't feel like there's pressure to not go back if there's a desire to tweak something later on.
Well, and can you also expand the timeline that the tentative budget is just really an action to move forward talking about the budget? And then we will have multiple opportunities and meetings to talk about the tentative budget and to change it. And then the actual budget adoption is not till August.
Well, June 18th would be sort of the final tentative budget, if you will. If there is a desire to go through truth and taxation, then yes, August 6th would be the truth and taxation hearing.
Okay, so just so people know, this is step one of a very long process
Another one
of
is House
conversation.
Bill
Yes.
236.
Okay.
Good clarification. All right, next slide. Seen this before, objectives?
Look at.
Next slide. Okay, so today, we're hoping that we would just set the stage with how did we get to where we are today? What's been the history of our property tax in Kaysville over the last couple of decades? We've had a lot of years where we've held the rate or let the rate drop, and we've had, I think, 3 times with a lot of you, there's actually been a truth and taxation process held. We'll go through some of that, and then we're going to look at, I think this is going to get Councilmember Blackham to some of your points on Friday. You know, if we're using so much fund balance this year, what's going to happen next year, the next year, when we don't have that opportunity to rely on the fund balance? How much is that going to result in impacting future tax increases? So we'll get into that. And then last, we'll get into the detail line by line kind of what's making up the FY27 proposal. And with that, this is the kind of going all the way back to 1997 when the rate was 0.0018. And you can see it dropped around 2014 was the first big increase, and that's when the city bonded for the police station. Shot up to the highest it's been, and then it's going to drop. And as you can see, firefighters, we did some salary increases.
That was
2021.
I think that was 3 new full-time.
I'm sorry, 3 new full-time, and then it was 2023 that we did a TNT for public safety, police mainly.
Now in 2021, is that when we added paramedics?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so that was required by the county for us to add a whole paramedic team, right? Wasn't that
We didn't
2021?
Paramedics haven't been here for 5 years, have they? Have they been here that
2021.
long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that was the year. So I guess the takeaway from here is you can see that we've rarely done a real TNT increase. There's been times when we've held the rate, but at least going back the last decade plus, most of those times have just been for capturing new positions or new projects like the police station or new paramedics. We haven't really done TNT to capture inflation for the most part. Last year, the 2026 budget that was adopted would have helped capture some inflation, but unfortunately we know the story there that it didn't end up getting approved by the state. So again, the takeaway here is that we've done TNT, but mostly just for new projects, new people, and not capturing the inflation, which we all know has been a lot, especially since COVID. So, but again, I guess go back one more time.
I'm sorry.
You can see, I mean, going back to 97, we're actually lower in our tax rate than we were almost 30 years ago. So that's an interesting point. Next slide. I thought this was helpful. This is what Parker came up with. So this shows back through 2017 to current, each month's inflation, kind of comparing the last 12 months. You can see it really peaked during the height of COVID in 2022, but it's still a lot more now than it was before. I mean, this is like compounded, right? It's capturing this, plus it's continuing to grow at even a larger rate. So, I mean, we're all personally aware of just when we go and buy anything these days that it's a lot more than it used to be. And of course, that impacts city operations as well. Everything from fuel to vehicles and police and fire equipment, everything we buy is a lot more expensive than it used to be. We did a nice article in the newsletter last summer that talked about, the cost of road base and replacing water lines, and it's gone up, 200, 300% in some cases. So again, those are real impacts to the city, and part of the story is that we just haven't been able to capture that inflationary growth through new revenue. So next
Now,
slide.
Jason,
Oh, yes, Mayor.
will you explain why that is?
It really goes back to...
Our revenue's been flat?
Well, sales tax has been relatively flat. It's not what it used to be for sure. Not certainly meeting the demand that we have. And then the real story is property tax is not capturing that inflation. So when we don't do T&T, we lose money. If we do nothing, in order to just keep the same tax rate, a T&T is required. And I think everyone knows that. But so one of our hopes is that going forward, we can do T&T hopefully every year just to capture the inflation and cover our costs as inflation goes up. But anyway.
TNT, truth in taxation.
Truth in taxation, yeah.
TI.
It sounds like TNT, like dynamite. It's TNT.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, truth in taxation,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It is dynamite, don't keep
But it goes both ways.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, and then I think familiar slide here as well, but we're currently the third lowest tax rate in Davis County of the 15 cities. If we did the proposed 32% increase that we're talking about, it would bump us up to number 9 of 15. So we'd still be just a little bit below middle. And that's part of the story too, just with what's going on. I think it's not in the slides here, but another great one, and Councilmember McBride did a great video, but reminding us all that the city's property tax only makes up 16% of the pie of your total property tax bill. Most of it's going to the school district, as I think most people know, and in the county. And the city of Kaysville gets 16% of that. So,
Yeah, actually, according to last year, 15.1% came to the city.
15.1.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, next slide.
So now.
So yeah,
to my-
now we're in the budget worksheets. This is the fun part. So that's kind of the history of where we've been, how we got to where we are. And now we want to talk about, okay, what does our future look like? Again, Councilmember Blackham, to your point, knowing that we took so much money out of fund balance, we can't continue to rely on that year after year. What does the future tax rates look like? And so Marin did some projections.
I think you can probably do a projection here.
Hey, real quick, Jason,
Uh-huh.
I think whenever we talk about the budget in city council meeting, we should always start out with how you started out with these slides. I think it helps the public to understand kind of what we're up against, but also to have more pieces of the puzzle.
Thanks, Councilmember Jackson. That's a great point. I think sometimes we think we said it and people know, but I think you never, people have busy lives. They don't necessarily follow every newsletter article or what. So it's a good reminder for all of us, I think. So yeah, we'll definitely include that.
So weird though, it looks different over there. I'm just trying to get this to all
Now,
Are these slides in our
and you're
packet?
not to this point yet, but this slide that you're showing us is assuming that the fire station gets approved on the ballot.
There's both
Sorry,
scenarios.
there's- okay.
Great point, Mayor. Back.
Projections with and without, okay.
Yeah, with the fire station, without the fire station. So
Oh, good.
okay, so with the fire station, we all know the 32% increase that's being proposed. And I'll reiterate that the 32% this year is exactly the amount of money that we would have gotten last year had it gone through. So this is really just recapturing what we should have gotten back last year. So in effect, it's a 0% increase, if you will, for this year. If the fire station were approved, that would result in a 40% increase in next year's property tax.
And that would be on the ballot.
That would be on the ballot, correct. The residents would have to vote yes for that, of course. And so that wouldn't be a truth and taxation process so much as it would be really a referendum or a ballot initiative for residents to vote on. A lot of that would be. So that 40% bump, that's for starting paying off the bonds for the station. And then in FY '29, that would be when the station would be, construction would be completed, and then we'd have to hire people to fill it. And so that's what's driving that second big number, the 44% increase.
Hey, now just clarification. So if we did the 32% this year, that would still, we would still be about 1.5 million short that we're using fund balance, okay? So,
Why 1.5?
Yeah,
oh, give me the numbers. I'm just going by what you, huh?
950,000
Okay,
in general fund balance.
general fund balance.
Yes.
Because everything that showed that we were going to use about 1.1 of fund balance last year when we didn't get our text.
Yes.
And so you've changed that number
To
and 1 point, so.
950, yeah.
Okay, and we're, from what I can tell, from last year to this year, we're adding another $500,000 to our general fund, and plus 900 and something thousand to our operations this year, or 800 and something thousand. If we, okay, but let me.
Sure.
Okay, so the 40% would only include the fire station. It wouldn't include the fund balance that we're short next year.
It does. I don't have any fund balance use in my projections for 28 forward.
Okay, so 28, so it would be another 40%. Still having to use $1 million? No.
Sorry, no.
No fund
So,
balance.
yeah,
No fund
We have
balance.
fund balance in 27, but not in 28 going forward. So these projections, we're no longer using general fund balance. So the 40% makes up for that million and the fire
And the
station
fire
bond.
station. Okay, and then the following 44%, no fund balance,
No fund balance.
strictly personnel.
Strictly
Pretty much.
personnel, and then the full fire station bond because fire impact fees were used in 28.
Including staffing, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
Including new staff for that fire station, if it gets approved.
Correct.
So it goes up partially because we will not be using fire impact fees in, is it 29?
Yeah, I mean, I assume we won't have another 300,000 built up like we do right now.
And so, I guess if there's any silver lining to this, it's that once we've added those new costs, the fire station, then it goes back down to single-digit increases, really just to capture, projected inflation. So does that make sense? Again, fire station, construction bonds, and then primarily fire station staffing, and then you're back down to just covering cost. And again, as Marin said, we're not using any more fund balance after FY '27, so it's a sustainable model, I guess is what we're trying to say.
I guess I'm skipping ahead, but why, and without fire station, is it a higher percentage of an increase in 28 than it is in 28 with the fire station?
Because the 1.5 million to improve the new fire station. It's,
That should not be in there.
why not? If we don't get a new one, we have to
Oh, we want to
improve
improve
ours.
it.
Sorry, it shouldn't say the word new.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone remembers that. In the last couple of years, we started having the conversation of, if we don't have a new station on the west side, then we at least need to, improve our current station, build it out a little bit more for some needs for the growth. And so if the fire station doesn't happen, that $1.5 million theoretically kicks in. And we wouldn't bond for that. So that's a pretty big chunk. You don't bond for $1.5 million, you bond for 16 million, but does that make sense? So that'd be the $1.5 million kind of brunt in 1 year as opposed to just doing a bond for a $16 million station.
So, question. So, to the mayor's point, in FY '28, could we not push the 1.5 million to FY '29 to give a break between, because 32.16 is such a big increase. So year to back. I mean, what's the necessity of doing that?
I mean, I think this is just kind of comparing two models. It's surely there's going to be opportunity to have discussions about that.
So there's flexibility to move that 1.5 million around a little bit,
We could reprioritize
reprioritize.
or break it up.
We just wanted to make sure it was captured, to show that, okay, if we don't do the station, there's still going to be other costs. That's kind of the primary goal,
Okay.
making the comparison.
Okay.
So,
And kind of the point that if the bond passes, it actually is cheaper in terms of monthly operational costs to build a new one than to replace and repair the current one, right?
Right.
Because the rate's lower.
Technically,
If the bond
yes.
passes. Okay.
And the 16 million, keep in mind, is worst case. At this point, construction costs might come back lower, but 16 that we're using
That's the high
here
end.
is high end.
right.
But on the lower projection, that 45% would be, I mean, I understand what it is, but that 1.5 million is a one-time thing, so we'd be raising taxes 45% for like a one-time,
But then we're not planning to lower them,
yeah.
We're not-
right? So what
right,
happens to that?
That's why it's only 10% the next year, because
Because
that
we're
makes sense.
offsetting that.
Right.
So
And
overall,
that'll-
the 2 years then are still more with the bond, because you've got 84% versus 54%, right? 28 and 29 added together? Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
I still think that if you,
See, math in public,
Excuse
it's
me.
fine.
I still think that if you do if the fire station bond passes, you should increase, the same year, you should increase it for the building and the employees. Because it's gonna be really difficult to convey the message a year later that you're raising it for the employees. It's gonna be a much easier message to relay that, yeah, the reason it went up was because of the fire station that you just voted yes for.
But
Kind of, but you don't always have to pay for it immediately. It'll take a year and a half to build,
So,
and then you could wait.
Well, okay, yeah, so that's my point, is I wouldn't mind doing it the same year that you do it for, that you do for the employees. If you can wait, if you don't have to pay for the building that same year, if you don't have to start paying for it until, it's my whole thing with the school. I don't understand. If we don't have to pay for this, if we don't have to start paying on that bond until next year, why are we putting it into the budget for this year?
So there's certainly opportunities to talk about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, you're absolutely right that we could just say, let's just go ahead and do it that first year, so it's clear that it's tied to.
Or the second year, I don't care, but just
Well,
put them together because
put 'em
they
together,
should
right.
be.
And remember, this isn't really so much TNT as it is, that's driven by the vote.
Right.
Marianne, this is where I'm getting really confused, and I need to get straightened out on this, because when we did the general fund review, it showed that we were $3.4 million short, and that truth in taxation would only cover 1.7, and we would have to somehow come up with 1.6.
Correct.
You just said we only have to come up with 800,000.
No, I said 950 for general fund balance, and then we're using MBA fund balance, police impact fees.
Okay, but we're still, in our general
still
fund,
short.
we're still 3.4 million short, and the tax increase is only going to get us 1.7, and we are still short 1.6.
Correct.
Okay, you had me thinking we were only short 800,000. We're short 1.6 million.
Yes, I was just.
And you said, where'd I
correcting-
get that number? I got that number from you.
Well, I thought that you said we had to use 1.6 of fund, like general fund
Well,
balance.
I don't know where it all comes from.
And that-
but we'll
okay,
have to
I
use it
was-
from somewhere.
Just clarifying that. So I created this spreadsheet live so we can kind of play with it. So, John, we just moved the fire station employees to fiscal year 28, so that's what that would look like.
Okay.
Okay, where are we looking?
But you'd still
The
have.
top fiscal year 28, it now is
67.92. But you're
67.92.
thinking 29, you'd still have to do 21.7?
Yes, because in 28, again, we're gonna use fire impact fee fund balance and capital fund balance to pay for the bond for that first year. And then we'll run out of fund balance, so in 29, we have to make up for that difference.
My health, well, I don't understand. Again, my thought is, if you're gonna be honest with the people, be honest with the people of what it's gonna cost them every year for this fire station. And so don't use a balance that you can only use for 1 year. Like, let's use what it is and tell them exactly what it would be. Now, granted, if we wait until the police station's paid off, then, you know, what's the difference between that payment and this payment?
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's just
I mean,
my
there's different ways you can go about
personal
it.
opinion is that, like, it seems like if they vote, like, we should be honest with them, this is how much it's gonna cost you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is how
well, we just changed that, so there
Okay.
you go.
And it's still 11, which is crazy that we're still gonna be deficit that much, but at least it's being honest with what it's gonna look like, right?
Well, I don't know if it has to do with so much about honesty as it does, because it is honest the way we present all the numbers to the public.
Right.
And I'm afraid if we have a tax increase this big before the public actually votes. then-
No,
because they
this
could
wouldn't
vote.
be before they voted. This would be what they were voting on.
After.
And I'm just saying
Oh,
it's
okay,
a
so-
transparent
Yeah.
way of saying, like, this is what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
If you
okay.
vote yes for this
This
is
is
how
what will
much
happen
it's
next year.
truly going to cost you.
Sorry to cut you off. My only argument would be we should at least use fire impact fee fund balance, because that's literally what that impact fee is for building out a new station.
And there's a shot clock on using that
And there's a
impact fee.
Yeah, we have a
What is it?
6-year
How much is
limit.
that fire impact fee? We haven't had enough growth that it's gonna be very much. What is it? How much is that fire impact fee?
I don't know how much it is, but the fund balance
481.
is 481 right now.
481,000,
Yes.
that's all.
Which isn't enough
I mean, it's still a nice chunk.
to, yeah.
Well, but I guess why wouldn't that go towards just like, so if the building costs $5 million, you put $480,000 down and that decreases the amount that you have to finance. Am I missing something there?
No, I could do that too, but
That's how theoretically, that's how I would personally prefer to see it, is like, hey, we'll just put, if we have to use that impact money
yeah.
down, we just put it down and it lowers the cost of the building, but I don't like using it to make the payments for the first year and then.
That's
not-
fine.
No, and I hope you don't take an offense. It's
I'm not
just kinda-
taking offense.
That's the way I would see, and maybe that, yeah, personally, I'm not an accountant, so
I think
maybe it's
there's
not the smart way to do it.
a million ways to skin a cat, right? And I think when we get to that point, we can be strategic like that. To
Yeah.
create this projection, right, was my opinion or
Yeah.
thought or whatever, right? And that's why I kind of created it as a live spreadsheet so we could kind of move and groove and
I like it.
see how you guys want to see it.
I
But
would-
you have a great point.
But
Yes,
it's
we
kind of
could
a-
do a 500,000 down payment. I don't think that's going to do much for the yearly payment. So this still, the 83% to your argument, I think is still pretty darn close.
Ends up being the most transparent way of saying, like, this is how much it's gonna really
Cards on the
cost
table,
you.
sure.
So, but again, it's kind of a moot point, right? If this is gonna
If it
be,
doesn't
this is
happen.
gonna be for the people to decide, so why, maybe are we discussing?
Well, so what I'd like to get back
So-
to is this year. Let's
This
talk
year.
about this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
The only point of this slide wasn't really to get too much into how we do the fire station, but just to show that once we do increase the property tax to take care of our true annual costs, then it does go back down into more of just what you're capturing for annual inflation. So you get down to this 5.270%.
And I'll be honest, I want to stop the bleeding. I feel like
Yeah.
we are just bleeding to death, and I can see a ship that's sinking, and it's sinking fast.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we would come up with a plan to not buy a thing, not spend, but figure out how we can get this $3 million deficit under control, which means maybe do 4 years of 10% plus inflation of truth in taxation and save our money, not spend our money, and get it to the point where our revenues meet our expenditures. As
Well, and that's why we want to talk about the 32%.
That's where
We wanna
hoping
get
we
that
could
number.
head.
That's
Yeah.
a good
We gotta
segue into
reduce
the
that
next
number.
section here.
So this next tab, yes, if we just want to review fiscal year 26, here is what the 1.7 tax increase was covering
Okay, for last year, that didn't go
for last year. I'm sorry, I can pull it up on this one too for now. But I just created these so that they kind of talk together, and I'll show you that in a minute. But if I scroll down, here's the review of the tax increase from last year that we voted on, and we all know what happened. So employee wages and benefits for $1 million, the new assistant attorney position, the new police sergeant, operations inflation, right? Fuel costs going up, road base going up, fire equipment and turnouts going up. Then what was new for 26 was the elections, general plan water update, the field house, an ambulance, and the mower. So the reason the Kaysville field house dollar only shows 160 is because in fiscal year 25, we had 204 budgeted for Pioneer Park debt. That was finished in 25, so that 200 was already in the budget. And then I'm just netting the difference to up it to that 368 for Kaysville.
Okay, so we
Field
got
house.
rid of one bond payment, and now we will add that payment to this next one.
Correct, so we didn't up that budget by the 368, we just upped it by the 160 because the Pioneer Plus, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Same with the ambulance. We paid off a fire truck in 25. We got a new ambulance in 26. That's the net difference. And then I just found a budget error with the mower lease we had. For some reason, it was budgeted 6,000 less under than it should have been in 25. So if you add all of those up, that equals the 1.7.
And that's 32%.
Last year, it was like 31.16.
Okay.
Because our tax rate was higher in 25.
By not raising taxes, our rate went down.
Yes. So then if I scroll up to 27. I'm sorry, I don't know why this is stuck. Well, that's annoying. Oh, there it goes. Okay. The items in orange are kind of what, I don't know if the best way to say it is catch up, or kind of what I think is must do to make up for not getting that in 26.
Okay, but when you say not getting it in 26, these things were still paid. They were paid out of general fund balance.
Correct. So I think we need to make
So
it
you're
whole
trying
for
to
fiscal year
replenish
27.
The balance that was used since we didn't get our tax.
Right.
Correct.
These are
So those four
ongoing-
orange lines, yes.
Your ongoing expenses that were committed to last year, and that's why we need to create the new revenue source for them rather than continue to use fund balance.
Right. So the fiscal year 26 employee wages, then fiscal year 27 employee wages and benefits is only the 323, because like we've talked about, we budgeted insurance close to the actual instead of family plans for everybody. I took everybody's actual, and then there was only an increase of 2% with the U, which was very, very good for us, right?
Okay.
Then, in addition to that 323 are the new kind of things that we added. So that part-time police records clerk, council insurance, the assistant attorney from last year, and then deputy fire chief wages and benefits.
So those are some easy cuts that we.
So
can make.
those are, yes.
Okay.
Then fiscal year 26 inflation is orange because we have to make up for that. Fiscal year 26 new operations into 27. So like we talked about the field house, ambulance, the mower. And then there we have fiscal year 27 operations inflation for 439. And then operations new items. The police drone we talked about. PR services, deputy chief vehicle. And then here is the use of fund balance, where we tried to get creative as staff, because we were very sensitive to your guys's, you know,
We need to cut.
concern to be sensitive to the resident and the high rate and all of that, right? So the use of fund balance for MBA and debt and police impact fee. And then Josh did some work and moved a whole bunch of line items from Public Works over to the roads fund that kind of fit there. So salt,
Did we even
maintenance
spend
of
that, we
road.
didn't spend that much money on salt last year.
Oh, no,
I was
because,
gonna say, right, there was no
yeah,
snow, so-
there was no snow.
So
But we're
does-
still moving those budgeted line
Okay.
items.
Just the
Okay.
budget.
And it goes back into the general fund? Or no, to those
It goes to roads, the
To the
special
roads,
revenue
okay.
fund.
Okay.
Yes. So I've created this sheet so that if you told me, well, I know this one has been a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
We could remove it.
Yep.
I'll put it over here as an item that then will go into fiscal year 28.
Okay,
And up here, you can see that tax increase lowers.
okay.
Now, obviously, doing this and cutting and moving things is going to affect the projections, which is why I at this point, might just go to this split screen. If that's what you guys want to do, is start talking about cuts or kind of pushing things off. We can kind of see real time what 27 does and what the projections do. But if you'd rather just see real time what 27 on the same screen, that's fine. I just don't think it's the full story to just kick it down the road and make it next year's
Well-
problem, or else we're going to be here again.
I understand that, but some of these things are not absolutely necessary.
Correct.
And so I think, let us look at it.
And if you
Per item.
want to cut it forever, then I just wouldn't put it in this blue.
Okay.
If it's in the blue, that's where it's going to add to
Oh,
fiscal
the
year
next one.
28.
Okay, okay. So I guess it's okay to put it in the blue, knowing that some of these positions, we will be okay, we will survive as a city if we don't add them. And now I don't think is the right time to be adding positions. I think we need to cut as much as we possibly can.
Take everything off there that's wasn't paid for and
Absolutely.
approved in the
Yeah.
26 budget. Just take it
Yeah,
off.
just take it off and show us what we had last year.
Why don't we just go down line by
Sorry, what do
line?
you mean?
I don't know.
So last year, so you said,
We
the records clerk, we did not hire that position yet,
Correct.
right? So you can take that one off.
Okay. Jason, is this where you want to kind of say recommendation, or do we just want to go for it?
When you say go for it, you mean just assume it's going to get put into next year's budget?
Well,
Or a future.
your
budget.
four
Or
like your
once-
list?
But let me ask you this, is there a possibility, because Saul, I mean,
Yeah.
I went to that university thing and I saw, in all the city, that is the one thing where the girl's gonna walk out of here if she doesn't get some help.
For sure.
And, I mean, that is truly the one thing that I can say she has zero backup to and doesn't have any way. And I didn't know if Chief Oberg, in his budget of personnel, because we budget the max, could figure out a way to eat that $29,000 in his budget.
And that's
What do
we
you
need
mean
to
by
do.
we budget the max?
Yeah.
Well, usually we budget at the
Full
top end
amount.
of the pay scale.
On the pay
No, we
scale.
budget actual.
You changed it. In the past, it's been
I think
top.
you're thinking about maybe how we used to budget for everyone getting family
Yeah,
health
yeah,
insurance,
yeah.
but we don't do that anymore
But we're
either.
not doing that anymore. so-
Maybe how he budgets for a full staff. I guess he is full now.
He is full, but he hasn't been in the
What
past,
about-
but I don't know what all of his operations budgets are, I don't know what things he could put on her as a line item, I don't know.
If
Part
she
of
could be
his-
split between two different.
If he can
line
split it
items or
between
something.
10 of his different
Yeah,
accounts, his
exactly.
video accounts, his operation,
Yeah.
you know.
I really don't like to, I don't think it's transparent. I think if you're gonna budget for something, put it in there. Otherwise, the budget is, we're trying to tell a story, and if there's a new position, let's put the new position in there.
But it could be funded by other line items.
That's what
As
you're
you know,
saying. Take
other
it-
cities do that.
Reduce other line items, I mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Other cities do it. I met with, like I told you, a city today, the finance director, and she said their lobbyist, for example, is paid from several different line items because he represents different departments depending on what he's lobbying.
Right, that makes
And
sense.
so
We
they
do
share that
that.
cost.
We'll distribute costs where.
And I'm
where-
saying that too, I'm just saying, whatever Chief Oberg's full budget was last year, did he spend every dime, or did he actually have some cushion there that he
He
didn't
had
spend?
cushion, right?
Yes.
Because
Okay, and that's what
That's
I'm
how we
asking,
would-
was there somewhere in that, what he did, was there enough cushion that he could pay for her?
in 26, yes, and 27, we took all of that out.
Okay, all right.
So I think that's one that we come back to, because I think we could all agree that's an essential
Okay, so you
position
want
that
to
we
move
need.
that one back over?
And so
For now,
For
maybe.
now.
maybe for now, put it back in and then see where we're at.
I guess the question I would also ask too, I mean, council insurance, we've talked about that, but as we go through this, like, what is so bad about this year that moving it to next year makes it any different? Because the next year will also be bad, right?
Just take it out.
I think we should take it out completely. I'm not interested in,
I'm sorry,
We're
which
talking about
one?
council
Council insurance? Okay, that one
Thank
specifically,
goodness.
sure,
even next year, I'm not.
Yeah. I think that the difference could be that right now we're in the middle of a war.
fair,
Inflation is high.
Fair.
The economy's changed drastically since last year. And people are really struggling. And I hope that it changes. I don't.
So
know
it's
that it
more of a
will.
hope that next year's better.
It is a hope that next year's better, and maybe we have some staffing changes
Okay.
internally where we could open up some positions.
sure, okay.
I would say a couple years, because to Councilmember Blackman's
We need to
point,
catch up.
we need to catch up and get more stable.
And I think
Yes.
we're here because we over the last couple of years, for anyone, we have used fund balance.
Yes.
Quite often, and that's not good, and I've been saying that. That's not a good habit.
And that's why in
It
fiscal year
has been able
28,
to offset
sorry,
us a little bit, sorry, but that's not sustainable.
correct,
And so we can't do that anymore.
yeah.
And
that's
we've been doing that because of COVID.
We've been doing it to
inflation,
be
and-
responsible, but it's really not the most transparent way to budget, because
Mm-hmm.
then it looks like we're okay when we're actually not okay.
It's not, but on the other hand, we've had a very healthy fund balance.
Well, we have, but no, we don't.
And
That's
as
not
of it 2025, which is the last year we had this, that was our last one, so last year, this is our, we had $7,799,000 in fund balance.
Well, we spent it fast,
Had, that's what I say, had.
Some of that is
Had.
restricted money.
yes.
So the unrestricted portion is the 7.5,
Okay, 7.5,
yes.
yeah.
And that's why, to the fund balance point, in 28, 29, 30, in my projections, I'm not using fund balance. So that's also why that percentage is a little bit high, because we're making up for that million we've used for at least the last 3 years.
Great.
And I can look at history before that if you would like, but we know in 25 it was 1.1, 26 it was 991, and 27 we're suggesting 950,
Yeah, that's,
right?
Okay, what's the next item?
so the next one would be.
I also put this, I'm sorry, in the 4 pages I passed out. This one is in there if you can't see that side. I apologize. Yeah. And I didn't point this, sorry.
Yeah, page 3 of that.
And I didn't point this out, I think you can see it, but I've also made that home value annual increase live as well. So that 690 pink line is the one we've talked about, that the average home in Kaysville, to Councilman Blackman's point, I added some more home values. So you'll see those monthly increases shift as we move items as well.
It's really
Okay, thanks
helpful,
for
thank
that.
you.
I appreciate the dollar amount.
Very proud
Makes-
of this
Makes a lot more
spreadsheet.
sense to us.
You've done a really good
High
job.
five.
You guys are killing it with Excel.
Oh, yeah,
You want to see what I can do? Just kidding.
no, this is so good.
Make
what
it
Rick's
dance.
done. You can see like what just happened there when you took out council health insurance, it changed the monthly cost to the residents from $1,480 to $1,374.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can we cut?
Great.
Can I just ask one more quick question,
Deputy fire
Maureen?
chief.
Yes, sorry.
So we're taking things off and it's lowering the tax increase but I thought our hope was in general to lower the amount we're taking out of fund balance. So how are
We
those
have
two?
that, we have that tab as well. Those are, it's not
okay.
related.
Okay.
So we can play this game with fund balance as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, that one's next.
Okay,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, do we want to just explain what these mean again? So as Marin just said, the 40,000 for the assistant attorney, even though that was something that was funded this year, part of the cost was offset by the fact that we didn't budget for a part-time law clerk. We used to have a part-time law clerk. So come FY27, it'll be the full cost, meaning the balance of that would be the 40,000.
Yeah, so the 135 from last year for the assistant is in fiscal year 27 wages and benefits, but we just have to make up for the difference of the part-time law clerk.
okay.
Is the FY 27 employee wages and benefits, does that include the merit, or we're not calling it
Yes.
merit anymore?
Yeah,
And
step,
what is that, what are those numbers, just so, because I know the merit, we just.
Step.
Step,
Step.
okay, the step is 3%, but what do you have, COLA?
COLA's
Cola's
2.5.
Okay,
And then
Which is the same as last year. It was 3% for the step or merit and 2.5% for the COLA. And something I think I don't maybe remind all of us enough about is when we say we're going to budget for a 3% step, it doesn't mean we're budgeting personnel costs to go up 3%. It just means really it's really a net neutral because a lot of people are at the top of the range, and so they're not getting anything of that 3% step. A lot of people are starting brand new because there was somebody at the top that retired or left that position. Now you're starting new. But over time, as you look at that, it doesn't really change. People are moving through the steps at different rates, but
so you do budget for 3% all across the board? Even, I guess I'm confused why you wouldn't use your amazing Excel technique and like have the people who are tapped out, just like we don't even budget for them.
It is that way.
It's already that way.
Okay.
And the reason is because if we budgeted for a 3% merit or step last year, that doesn't increase the next year if it's 3% again, because
Right.
we've already covered that cost, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You can think it as of employees offsetting each other, where if somebody's starting brand new and starting to move up in the range, that's because somebody else retired or left that position. So
Right.
it's all just kind of offsetting. The only thing that really increases personnel costs or wages is COLA or market kind of adjustments that actually move the ranges themselves up.
Yeah.
So we did budget a 2.5% COLA this year, or this for FY27.
Which is equivalent to just roughly, do you know how much?
Oh gosh, it's about 45,000 for every 0.5%. So
Yeah, 200 and something thousand, 200,000.
45,000 for 0.5%, okay.
Okay, great. Okay, so
And
next.
as far as, market goes, we've talked about it before, but we are using Davis County as our comparators. We're shooting for trying to get employees to at least 5% below the average wage for Davis County cities. So that's kind of what drives that 323 in addition to the health insurance costs going up and stuff.
Okay.
plus budgeting closer to actual, right?
Okay,
Yep.
so the next thing, assistant attorney, we already,
Kind of have, I think, I would recommend keeping that. I don't-
yeah, so next
Yeah.
thing is deputy fire chief.
Deputy Fire Chief,
Okay, so
That's 300,000.
I know he's been asking for a couple of years, but I think that, I bet he'd take one for the team
It's a bad
if we
year.
could postpone that conversation.
That would take that off.
Because
I agree.
that's a lot of money, it is a lot of money, and I so
Jason,
appreciate Steve.
I
and
know it's
everything
hard
he
for
does.
you. I know that's a hard one for you.
it
204,000?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
it's a lot of money. If Chief were to take one for the team, the important thing there is like it can't be one of those like just
Forever.
put it off forever and ever. It just means, hey, that position, it does need to get funded. We've been recommending it for a long time.
I feel like that would be an easy one after the vote, because if in fact the vote is yes, then that will be an easy one to tack on to the expense of doing, the part of the personnel that we're gonna have to hire for the new station. And then, if it doesn't pass, then the other thing that we have to do is we have to update the current station, and that is a great time to additionally add the deputy fire chief.
And to Councilmember Adams' point, if we do have a new station over there, technically it would be the deputy chief that would run that station, correct?
I have no idea.
Or kind of oversee it?
I think we'd still.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily, but you're adding a whole bunch of new staff, which just increases the administrative burden that much more. So the idea, I think, would be if the station were to be approved, certainly when you budget to, add all those new positions, having another, administrator to kind of help oversee that, in addition to all the other stuff that he's been doing for the last several years. But yeah, to push it off 1 year, I think the chief is willing to take one for the team.
He's been
for
asking
1
for
year.
3-4 years. I get that, but that's a huge expense right now, especially where the second station is in limbo. I would put it on staff to figure out, if you want him to have that position next year, you guys figure out how to fund it. Figure out, make the numbers work, because, we need to catch up.
We need to catch up first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we need to catch up.
Call it a
That's what
hiring
I'm
freeze,
saying.
call it whatever you want. Call it the council won't let us hire anybody, fine. But we need to get this under control.
Yeah.
What is operations inflation?
Operations inflation.
439,400.
That's, boy, everything. It's everything from fire boots and turnout gear going up to vehicles and fuel, and it's just everything that we've been seeing.
Hard costs?
These are
No, these are soft costs.
soft costs. These are, nothing is new. These aren't new items that we're budgeting for. This is just.
Fuel, software went up. We can't control that.
But those seem, I guess I'm maybe using the wrong word, but when I say hard, meaning there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh,
yes.
right.
Yes.
But my question is, there's already line items for these guys to purchase all of these things, and you're
For
saying
software,
that is
software,
an
that's
increase
not
of those?
Correct.
All
That's
those line
exactly what we're
items?
saying, yeah.
Correct.
None of these things are new line items, no new items at all. These are simply the current existing software, equipment, vehicles, fuel that we've been budgeting all along for many years, but those are all going up. And we can kind of go into the anecdotal, information of here's how much, a new set of fire boots cost, or here's how much this software license costs, but they're all growing up. And we've seen it all in our personal lives too, but everything is just.
But is this
More
just
expensive.
strictly the general fund?
Yes.
Yes.
You're not talking about any of the enterprise funds?
Correct.
Correct.
Or special revenues is strictly general fund.
Well, don't some of those operational
Yeah, can't
costs
some of those operational
from
things
those
come
other
out of that
accounts?
enterprise fund?
Yeah, like power, if it's power related, if it's boots equipment.
Yeah,
it
then
goes
it's
to the
over
power
there.
account.
That might,
That's not included.
this might be, that might be exhaustive
That's what I'm saying, we
to
should
have
be
that
included
list,
there.
but it would be kind of unique, it'd be interesting to see.
Why does it need to be included there?
I'm just saying it shouldn't be if it comes from.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. This is not including, this is only for general
This is
fund.
admin, council.
Well,
Inflation.
that's what I'm saying, this is general fund, but if some of those those costs, those inflationary, I can't see it that far, new operations, if some of it is to fund other things for the fire department, shouldn't it come out of their line items for their clothes? They've got line items for clothing and.
It is, I've just combined it all into one number.
Okay.
So that 400 isn't just for fire, that's for all general fund. The whole 5.4 million operations budget we have is going up by 400,000.
So you're just making it simple to put it on a
Yes,
spreadsheet
I
for us?
apologize.
Okay.
But this is wild, because that's almost 10%, right? Like, if we're 5.4 and this is almost 5, I guess it's not almost 5, maybe 9%. That's still a lot, like, not that I'm saying it's on you, but I think it's wild that inflation is that high.
Well,
What percent is that? Because right now inflation's at 2.5%.
It's like 9.6%.
Why aren't we putting in 2.5%?
Because we can't control that the software went up.
I understand that, but that's what inflation is 2.5%.
Okay, when you say inflation though, if you're talking about basket of goods like loaf of bread and, whatever things they pick up, that doesn't necessarily translate to the city's inflation. I mean, when we're seeing, costs of road base or vehicles, fire equipment, like double, triple, that's going up a lot of times a lot faster than just average inflation.
I mean, EMS supplies went up 20% in the past 6 months.
I mean, unfortunately,
We can't do anything about that.
these are things that are just driven by the simple market. We have very little control, well, zero control over
Unless
if EMS supplies go up 20%.
Switch vendors, but what do you do there? I mean,
Maybe
It's,
you do, maybe you go out and
Well,
bid and switch
How often do we
vendors.
bid stuff out for this type of?
I
We go on.
think with fire and police, there's very specific, like only a few vendors do those things, and I think we know that, right? Siddons Martin's for the vehicles and things like that, but, I mean, fuel, what are you gonna do there? You can't bid that out, I don't
right.
know.
I mean, our purchasing policy requires that we bid out items over a certain amount, so it's naturally built in that we're going out and getting competitive pricing.
Okay.
Or we'll use the state contract, which is already done that for us, bid out, on a large scale for the cities.
So Jace, I have a question with that. I think it's 5,000. Once we hit 5,000, we need to bid it out. So if we have enough product that inflation's causing it to be more than 5,000 when it wasn't before, does that automatically trigger a new bid?
That's a good question.
Because I think we should explore that.
Yeah, I think so too. It's more work,
And
but
it would be
it's
nice,
worth it.
to Adam's point, I would like to see a list, just for comparison, so we could speak to it, but,
A list of what's increasing?
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know, hey, plastic gloves cost 50 cents and now they're $5, or just for our own ability to explain when people are asking us, well, what do you mean by their cost? Transformers, they used to cost this much, now they're costing this much.
Yeah, FY '26, FY '27, until it
I mean,
reaches the
it's not,
439.
it's just a matter of having more information that we can share. Not fact checking you, just having more information.
And I think
So you
that's,
guys like this idea though, this concept of saying, let's wait on the deputy chief, but definitely tell him this is gonna be something, if it's approved, we bring it on as an additional employee with the approval. And if it's not approved, we bring it on as a fact that we have to grow. Seem good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think we postpone,
I think as far as telling our story too, I mean, I'll take the opportunity right now to say we're reducing 2 full-time employees this coming year as well.
Yeah.
So I say that because I want you to know that we are always looking for opportunities to save money, and whether that's, hey, take this position and turn it into that, like we did last year with, hey, we don't need as a locator position, but we need a water guy. And we changed, a position around. This year, we eliminated a utility billing clerk, or this coming year, utility billing clerk and a cash receiving clerk position.
that will be replaced by one.
And is that
position,
on,
right?
is that factored into this one, or have we not put those savings into this yet?
We put the savings in here.
Yeah, savings are built in, but I just, again, say that to show that we are always looking for opportunities to try to operate efficiently. As you all know, over the last several years, we've added very, very few positions. Just those 2 last year, really, the attorney and assistant attorney and sergeant position. We've had, obviously, requests for lots of positions from many of the departments over the years. But we are being careful about which ones we bring forward to the council. We don't just automatically say, okay, there's a list of positions. There's over 15 positions, I think, that have been requested over the years that continue to be requested by departments. And we only are bringing forward the deputy chief position as a new FTE. But
Okay,
I think you know.
Go ahead.
Well, last year, we all agreed as a council that absolutely an assistant attorney and the records clerk. But then, through our conversations, suddenly the police position, the deputy position popped up. if I remember correctly.
So last year, I started in the first work session, I had a list of 4 positions that were requested. It was 2 sergeants, a deputy fire chief, and the assistant attorney. And then after feedback from the council, I reduced that to just 1 sergeant instead of 2. And then I eliminated
Fire chief.
the deputy fire chief, and it ended up being just 1 sergeant and 1 assistant attorney. So I went from 4 to 2.
Originally, there was no sarge.
There were 2
There
on the
were
first
2,
work
and
session.
we got rid of both, and there was only gonna be 1 hire, and that was the assistant city attorney, and the sergeant came up
It
later.
did come up.
That was the
Later.
first meeting.
Well,
Yes.
the first meeting, there were 2 sergeants, though. The first meeting, budget
Yeah,
meeting
that's
last
right.
year.
That's
There were,
right. Hey,
but
water
then
under the
they-
bridge,
Go,
let's
let's
go,
go.
yeah.
But anyway, all right, so,
So police drone,
yeah, we added the drone back in. Again, that's the help, that's a manpower, what's the word? Enhancer, I guess. It helps when there's like a search for a person in the foothills or an autistic child goes missing, like, it's able to fly and look for people. It's just,
I think that's.
has a
one
lot
we
of
can-
uses
We can move
for,
over and maybe get help. We can still fund it.
I think that'd be, we're the only department in Davis County that does not have a police drone, just so you kind of have an idea of, you know, we're not asking for crazy stuff.
Does the fire department have a drone?
They do.
Yeah, and so, but it's difficult to borrow theirs because then we have to also have their drone operator, right? And it takes away from their
Right.
staff, and that's,
Why can't we
That's
just
the-
train a drone
I don't-
operator at the
I
police
don't-
department?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what Farmington did. I hate to use Farmington, I know, but they had a drone operator and the
They
police
took a
wanted, so
class.
so the police just trained their own drone operator and now he uses the drone.
Yeah, is that possible?
I
Yeah.
think that's what we do.
Well,
But it,
we're saying, why do you need 2
Why not,
drones?
why do we just kind of have one for the share with police and fire? I mean,
because if
Just how
fire's
often-
already using
how often is
theirs,
it getting used?
I think the
guess?
fire department has it on their truck. They
yeah,
take it out with them,
they do.
and it's a matter of, do we need to put it up or
They're
not?
okay.
I-
I don't wanna.
yeah, I'm just imagining like emergency situation where it's like, hey, we've got a hostage situation, we're trying to,
A
like,
lost
you
child,
know,
yeah. but-
look for the perimeter, we've got a lost person in the mountains, like, and then they go and try to hunt it down from the other department, and it just, it's,
Yeah.
I guess there's some things you can look at, but
It's smart.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
as
a
far
good
as
idea,
the PI service person.
Can't believe they cost us
or
money.
Wait, hold on a
services-
second.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick.
Don't,
Mayor.
a lot of that
I agree we
19.6,
should
I think
take
is
the drone
training
off,
too.
too.
I think
Because
there's
you have
someone else.
to, I mean, a nice drone's gonna cost like $7 grand or
curious if
something,
there's enough
but then they have to go train the officers to do it.
I think we could take the drone off this list and still have conversations about it.
I agree with that.
Let's
I'm
do
just
that,
curious
okay?
to hear from everyone.
You mean you might, because we might get
Yes.
donations
Yeah,
for
we
it?
might, we might have a donor that would be willing to,
Grants, there are grants out there.
no, there's a donor.
Donor?
Yeah.
No.
I like donors.
So let's take that off. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
I want a donor.
Okay.
Just with an asterisk that is gonna
It's
be
still
part of
part of
that
That we do understand that that's an
donor
important thing.
thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
because I'm
throw-
not fundamentally opposed to it, I don't think.
They're they're a huge benefit.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not gonna
they're
take that
huge
away,
benefit.
they're a huge benefit.
We had a
That's
person
kinda why I'm
lost for
thinking maybe it's
hours that
temporarily.
we might have been
It's a
able
whole
to.
bunch
Well,
better to sit
there
with
was.
Do you have?
mechanical
do you
thing in there
have-
rather than a person when there's
But we
danger.
could,
Do you have a
we
spreadsheet
could ask for
for
help
But we
from
could-
neighbor
yes.
cities,
Yeah.
Yes.
the sheriff, the county sheriff.
It is just, time is of the essence usually. is what
Maybe,
happens.
maybe if, just because whoever might be listening, maybe do you mind, I hate to mess with your Excel sheet, but do you mind making some type of a, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
There you go.
Yeah, that helps.
So there's something so that it can be, yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
noted that.
Because if there's not a donation, I.
Are we
Then,
gonna donate for the
I
deputy
would like
fire
to
chief?
donate
I'm
too.
Okay.
kidding.
Now, the
yeah,
PR service to city manager, I thought that we'd had a discussion that we wouldn't have the consultant group, and so that money can come from the consultant pot to pay for the PI, or the PR services person. Am I looking at the right line? Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
I thought in the last,
well,
Mayor, in the last meeting,
but
we
we're
said it was like a
paying,
net zero.
we're paying for that PR on a case-by-case hourly basis,
Right,
right?
but we won't be able to pay them anymore.
Right.
Because this person would work there.
I guess
so
the
then-
question is, how much have we been spending on them
than
annually? How
10,000.
much have we been budgeting for?
Yeah,
them?
so-
It was already in there.
So
Budget.
there's 35,000 budgeted, sorry, JC, you can speak to
oh, go ahead, Bryn.
There's 35,000 budgeted for the fires, the new fire station PR. And then this 10,000 was for those videos that you guys have talked about for all the other departments.
Okay,
So together, there's technically 45,000 in the budget for PR.
okay,
35 is just impact fee worthy,
okay. And
10
then we have the
is
10.
general fund.
So this is different than hiring that gal to,
Okay, so there's two ways to go about it. Like you said, Mayor, currently we're contracting PR services case by case. And we're paying a lot more per hour than we would if we just hired a person part-time. And so I think you have a good point there. If we just got rid of the contract entirely, we'd probably be net neutral there, or maybe even see some savings. But we just wanted to show it as transparent that, hey, this would be in addition to the contracted services. This would be also adding like extra little things like the videos and whatever.
take it out, yeah,
Okay.
take it out.
I think we take that
I
off.
feel like people could, I think we can
We're
do,
paying for 174 an hour right now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And,
You want it
and I would say take it off, and I would love
Cancel the
to,
contract.
but I would love to see that contract canceled and explore the option of hiring that gal.
We're looking into it. I mean, it's one of those things where we want to do that.
Right.
But if she's willing, we
Yeah.
don't know yet.
Or someone else.
Straw poll,
Right.
this is the direction of the council to cancel that contract.
Yeah,
There you
I mean, if
go.
we cancel it and we can get somebody else, great. If we can't get somebody else, the reason this is a unique situation, because this particular individual is really well qualified to do a good job. If we hired somebody off the street, I don't know if we could get what we need. Maybe we could, maybe we couldn't, but
We're trying to save money here, Jason. I know you're
All right.
fighting for everything, but when we take a straw poll, we want to say take it off, take
All right.
it off. We don't need to say, no, I don't want to say.
Just doing
All right.
videos? Is it-
Well, he's not talking about the 10 grand, he's talking about.
I know he's
that's a
talking about the
different-
contract with the
Okay.
other one,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah.
got a net savings
Yep.
there that we could maybe spend on possibly.
okay, knowing, just for context, I agree with what you're saying, but this PR company was hired to help with PR for the fire station, right?
correct. They do fire.
Specifically telling that story and
We have to be able to tell
communicating
that
that
story
need.
well.
And so let's just remember that if that is our goal, to get this on the ballot and get it passed, we need to be able to tell the story. We don't have the in-house talent to do it. So maybe we find someone cheaper, or even for free. But it
Okay,
won't be the same quality.
so as I was going through some of my previous paperwork,
Yeah,
where we were talking about capital improvements and stuff, we didn't even have the design of the fire station until 2028. I don't know what has brought it to the
forefront
forefront
on
so
the
much
ballot?
sooner than that, but I believe it was in maybe last year's or the year before, talking about capital improvements, and it had fire station design in 2028. So
I vaguely remember a straw poll to move it forward, but
it was one of those deals where I said, I don't believe it will pass, but I won't, if you want to put it on a ballot. But I sit here and I look at this and I say, as a council, is it really, should we be moving it forward? I don't know. But I said that I would commit to the ballot,
but
which
are
I
you
don't.
suggesting maybe it moves forward without a campaign? It just is on the ballot, and if it fails, it fails? Is that kind of what you're saying? 'Cause
They've
if
got,
that's-
they've got 35 grand to use towards it.
If the money's there,
Spend
if we're
the
not,
money
if
that
we're
they've
not
got.
And I
getting
think the
additional money.
I think the difference, I guess what I'm talking about is, you're saying though, the PR gal, the PR firm that we pay case by case, 175, whatever an hour, that above, like, take the fire station out of it, we've been spending enough with that firm just on regular things to probably compensate for hiring somebody, if it's the right person, and it would be a net or maybe savings. Take the fire station out, because the fire station's only gonna be a one-time thing.
Right.
This is like an annual.
This would be an annual, I think we could get 15 to 20 hours possibly a week of just doing more. We've had a lot of conversations obviously about doing a better job of being, sending information to residents, and a lot of
that
cities
wouldn't
have.
require an additional money, is what you're saying.
If we could hire this particular individual, we think so.
Gotcha.
I would just say though, as far as using that company to do our fire station education, public education, that's using fire impact fee money, which is earmarked for fire.
And not part of the general.
Right, and so we couldn't use it for anything else. I'm just saying that it's a lot of money, but it's for earmarked for that very purpose.
Yes, no, I get that, yep. Okay, cool.
All right, so we're
Can I
down
just
from
clarify
1480
where
to
we're at on
1099
What
for
did you
the
say? Wait,
average.
yeah, let's
Having
hear
a-
what.
Sorry, Jason.
Oh, sorry.
So I just want to clarify where we're at, where we are after that whole discussion. So we want to end that contract, hopefully hire this other person. However, we feel like publicity for the fire station can be covered with fire impact fees.
That's what it's, but right now we've budgeted the 35,000 next year out of fire impact fees to do public education for the fire station.
Okay, so not going forward with that contract doesn't mess with fire station.
It would. It would just
It
take
would.
the girl
Take the
that does
person
that
away.
right now for this company that we have under contract and
Okay.
bring her in as a part-time employee.
And,
Temporary, most likely
and
temporary.
if she can't be a temporary employee, then,
Then most likely what he's saying is we shouldn't terminate the contract with those folks until we know if she can come over, because the job still needs to be done for the fire.
right, so can't we just flexibly say, try to hire her, and if not, then at least fund the fire stuff?
I think
That's
that
exactly
where
what
we're
we
at?
want to do. Yeah.
Okay, we got a little hairy there for a second. I just want to make sure I was
No,
understanding
you're
your
good,
point.
that was a good point.
Okay.
Okay, so where else can
So we
cut?
went from 1480 a month to 1099. Is that what it says?
Yeah,
Good start.
I also just got a text, that Josh found another 106,000 we can move from.
Hey! Josh is the man,
Keep
man,
moving money,
let's
Josh.
go. Keep it coming, who's next?
What departments can top that?
Text it in, come on, guys, start texting them in.
Who's watching the lines?
Josh, you're the hero. You're our hero.
Let's go.
He's moving it from public works to roads.
Okay,
Perfect.
love it,
That's what we're talking about.
yeah. Okay.
Go, Josh, go.
Okay, and we have use of balance instead of gluten-free.
Yep.
What?
There you go.
No, use of fund balance instead of general fund
So
money.
gluten-free, is that what you
Gluten
said?
free. Okay.
Listen, John, this is confusing enough as it is.
I know, exactly.
But I'm confused what your police station payment and field house payment, both, is that what you're saying? Field house is the,
Kaysville gym.
Okay.
And then the police station payment, we're using the police impact fee money.
okay.
Okay, but here, okay,
Here's the question, when does the bond payment actually start, and when do
Yeah.
we actually have to pull that trigger?
yeah.
For real? Could we wait till next year?
That's what I understood. I understood we'd have to start paying for it until it was open, and it wouldn't be open until,
Right.
I
Knowing
don't
that
know.
we have already committed, just so we all are in agreement, we have committed to pay for
Yes.
that, okay?
That's
Right?
correct.
Yes?
That's correct.
Okay, so could we go to the school and say, look, we want to start our payments, and we would do the bond next year instead of now?
But I guess what she's saying right now is that essentially you're having it come out of fund balance, but if we kept it in fund balance, then we could use that fund balance to decrease the amount of increase. I guess that's what we're trying to figure out.
What we're trying to pay off the
That's what I-
police station
that's-
with that money sooner?
Pay it off faster.
So is the
No, I
fund-
wouldn't pay it off, I mean, we could pay it off faster if you really want, but, I'm just saying, don't use general fund tax increase. Like, the fact that we can use, we've already identified general fund money to pay the police station bond. But instead of that general fund cash, I'm now freeing that up and using the fund balance of the police impact fees, because we've never touched those.
Okay.
can you do that?
Yeah.
You
Because
can
that's
use
what
impact fees
to
to,
pay the police station.
Okay. Okay, so you're switching
If you-
pots.
you can, because that's more than 6 years old and it was not identified
It'll-
as part of the impact fees.
It was identified,
Was
that, the build out of that station was the
Okay,
whole
it's
reason.
and it's, because it's more than 6 years, you can still use that money.
We hit 6 years this year, so I'll have to do a budget amendment for that. It's like 32,000, and we'll use that in this year's
What
one
is the
payment.
yearly payment for the police station?
It's like goodness, can you look it up? It's like 350.
So you're taking that 350 and adding another 243?
For the.
That's for the
house.
field house, the ambulance, the mower.
So it's not just the field house, it's the mower and something else?
And the ambulance.
And the ambulance.
But
Why
that
is
was,
the ambulance not coming out of enterprise funds?
because it's ambulance, which is fire.
It's fire.
And
Fire.
it's general fund?
But there's an ambulance enterprise fund.
No, we got rid of that.
Why did we get rid of the ambulance enterprise fund?
I think it was losing money and, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I heard the history was it was losing money and not performing as an enterprise fund, so therefore the general fund kept subsidizing for it, so it, like legally, it had to be absorbed into the general fund, since it wasn't performing.
But we bill all those patients.
Remember how many,
And I
remember
thought
how little
all
amount of
those patients
patients?
went to an enterprise fund, and yes, we did have to subsidize part of the enterprise fund.
You're not allowed to do that like more than 3 years. So that's why like the stormwater and pressure irrigation, we have to raise those, or else
You'd think
when we get audited again and we keep subsidizing that.
You would think that the actual thing is you'd just start billing
So
them
then what
more.
do you do with the
but
money that we get from getting from
Remember
all the billing?
remember he said.
Now it goes in general fund. It's general fund revenue now. It just doesn't go,
Why doesn't it show as a general fund revenue?
But that's the interesting aspect of
it's
that.
under
maybe-
charges for services.
The interesting part about that could be that gives you a difficult way to track if maybe you should be increasing the fee for that service, especially assuming that the insurance, the
I-
health insurance.
I
pays
think
for it.
there's laws
Everything
around
else is
that,
There are laws.
for sure. I think it's how
You
you
can only
can,
charge so much.
you can only charge so much. Now we can't even bill for supplies. I think we're only getting like 42 cents on the dollar refund.
So why
like
don't we just
re-
contract ambulance services out?
Don't ask me.
I don't,
I don't-
how would
We
you?
can't do that. Why
Well,
couldn't-
because
why-
you're in charge of the paramedics, I don't think you could contract the service out, could you? Isn't the ambulance the paramedics for the most part?
Yeah, that's what
Correct.
I'm saying. Why
Yeah,
If
couldn't?
you
so like
didn't have
that-
an ambulance, it would be very difficult for a fire department
Be
to
hard,
exist.
very hard for our people to be the paramedics and not have the ambulance.
So then how did the county get rid of paramedics?
I don't think so.
They did.
I thought that like they only got rid of it with the requirement that we take it over.
Yeah,
Because
but I'm
that's-
saying they still have fire. They just don't have paramedics now because we all.
Doesn't the county have the special district fires?
But then didn't they?
Am I
didn't-
wrong?
didn't-
Well, why did
yeah,
we
They
but-
have the
but
North
then they
Davis Fire
lowered-
District and the South Davis Fire District. They're special service districts. They're not anything to do with the county, period.
And then, but then they
Okay.
lowered,
I think the
they,
county
County's
contracts
totally
that.
out. Okay.
and
got
then they
out.
lowered the
That's
amount that they,
Dane County.
and then they
Okay.
lowered the amount that they were charging
Okay,
to compensate for that, I think.
All right.
okay. Back to the.
And just to
bills.
throw this out-
Isn't there a state rate that sets that as well? I mean,
Correct.
there's state
minimum, state
requirements, right?
Charge more.
What you can charge, and you can't, again, like you said,
And
Marin,
then it's only health insurance reimbursement rates and yada yada.
right?
But we can look at those fees and we can charge more, right?
So,
It's state rate.
So we're charging state rate now, so we can't adjust that. Is that
So-
correct? That's what I'm saying.
according
Right.
to,
It already costs like $1,200 to go from here to Davis North, or more, might even be more, probably 2,000 paramedics. Oh yeah, that's not much.
So much. Yeah.
according to,
6 months.
according to this, the decision to do the field house is not affecting any monies
It
for
is a little bit.
2027?
Just
Yeah.
100 and,
160,000.
yeah.
Increase.
'Cause
Where
the
am I
other
missing
Part
that?
is coming from ramp,
That
right?
was on,
Because you put it there as a negative 593,
That's right, because we're, instead of
house.
transferring out, instead of using general fund money,
right?
we're utilizing fund balances.
Right. So then is there zero then that's being affected by the truth in taxation now for the field house?
No, there's still a little bit.
How much?
$7. Didn't you say 7?
yeah, if we just did a truth in taxation, it was like a $6.50 increase, but,
I know, but, okay,
but,
maybe I'm.
but to ease the burden this tax year, I'm suggesting to use fund balance for it instead.
So I'd be okay, the whole thing, for the whole thing or just part
No,
of
we're
it?
using, I thought we were using ramp tax for partial.
Ram tax is part, but the general fund portion, yes, all fund balance.
Okay, so.
So next year
it's-
you'd have to do
But
it,
it's totally out now.
yes, in a way. it's being covered by fund balance, not tax
It's
increase.
being covered by fund, so the 21%, you couldn't, by delaying the payment of the field house,
It
it wouldn't
doesn't-
lower that 21.
It would not lower our tax on this
To the
year
taxation.
for 27.
So we're not saving residents by delaying the payment till it actually is due, which would be next year.
Correct.
But it does lower fund balance, right?
Yes.
It does
Yes.
lower the fund.
It would
So we
lower
could
fund
take it
balance.
out of the fund balance and then
Yes.
use fund balance next year. Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
But it doesn't, it's not affecting this truth and taxation increase.
okay.
Okay.
So question, how much does ramp contribute towards that payment?
Half, so 368 for ramp, 368 for general fund. And obviously, like I said, there's a ton of ways to skin a cat. So we could talk about the split there, what ramp could give. I don't know, I don't want to speak for Cole. There's also, if you look at the fund balance amounts, there's some fund balance in ramp. Maybe we use this down payment. Again, we can get creative there.
Okay.
But for
Yeah,
the
that's-
sake of these spreadsheets, I kind of just had to pick something and present it, right?
Yeah, that's another day. I think like for example, I think Layton's ramp almost exclusively goes towards the amphitheater, or at least
And
does
Centerville's
until
does
it's
too,
paid off.
for the-
And so there's not like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if we end up taking the majority of the ramp for the field house for a period of, and say to them yeah, this was our decision, was to have the majority of it go towards the field house for a period of time.
How does everyone else
But
feel about
that's a
that?
thought. I mean, and I don't think it's a decision we have to make today, because again, it's not gonna affect the truth in taxation, because it's gonna be just like a distribution of funds, but it definitely would be a next year discussion.
Is there a way to get our truth and taxation under 20%?
In my professional
Could we make
opinion,
some
no.
small
I
cuts
think,
anywhere to get it?
I think the
under
only way you do it is use more fund balance.
And there is an option for that, Jason, right?
Which is kind of my
Yeah.
point with, if we delay paying the field house this year, which I'm like, I still don't understand why we're budgeting for something we don't have to pay for another year, then we could use that money and it would towards decreasing
the fund balance?
this
So
year.
we're in, right up a great point. We talked about, we've used some of our MBA, Building Authority fund balance this year. Also some debt service fund balance. We didn't use it all though. We could
Correct.
use more of that. And we could completely drain those fund balances this year and put it all towards
Which
lowering.
would be bad, we can't do that, we know that.
I mean, I would rather see
It's not.
that money go towards shoring up our general fund balance, which I'm more worried about, but
Yeah, we
I
get to
mean-
play that game next.
So let me ask a question, since we're getting into fund balance and stuff like that, because we're trying to get our taxes down, and I'm trying to get it so that we're using some fund balance, but I'm looking, say, multiple years of truth in taxation, maybe not quite this high. But one of the things that I want to talk about is, let's go to the enterprise funds, the proprietary funds. And if you look at unrestricted funds, in water, we have two, as of this report, sorry, I have to use this report, so that only one, we don't have a 2026, so we haven't got our money yet. But we have a total of $15 million of unrestricted funds in water, electric, stormwater, sewer, and then total non-major funds. And we have 15 million in there. Why cannot we transfer some of those unrestricted funds, do a budget amendment, and transfer some of those into fund balance so that we can use some of that money, so that we can get this tax increase down a little more,
Yeah.
use some of this fund balance out of here. And I know it says, you send a thing out that says, look at the operating loss income, like in water was 745,000, but yet you didn't take into consideration depreciation was 937,000, and depreciation isn't real money. It's just depreciating, and I don't even know where that number even comes from. It's like 430,000 in the electric, but we used 957,000 in depreciation.
Yeah, there's
And
a lot.
It will come to you later, you'll say that, but we're trying to fix a budget that's bleeding, in my opinion, and why we constantly keep this amount there, and we're proposing an increase in, you're proposing a 10%, I think, and a 15% increase, but yet we don't even know what our projections are yet from last year's 10 and 15% increases. I mean, you could probably give me those exact numbers, but we don't have anything. We don't know for the year. And if inflation was only 2.5%, why are we asking for a 5% increase and a 15% in water? Was it 15 and 10? It was 10 in power, 15 in water.
Balances have to be so high.
Yeah, why do these balances have to be so high?
Boy, I feel like we're going off way into something that is another whole meeting.
I'm trying to figure out how to pay the bills.
But I see what you're saying.
Because we're supposed to come up with a budget by Thursday.
Yeah.
And if we can use some of these unrestricted funds to do so, why not?
The short answer to that, in my opinion, is we did the Waterworth models that builds in the future costs of what we're expecting to have to invest in the infrastructure for those utilities. And the depreciation is absolutely a real number. I know we've talked about this before. It's not a made-up number. Depreciation is looking at the cost of, it's like a forced savings account, basically, is you know that every year those assets are starting to deteriorate, and you have to make sure that you're investing a certain amount of money to make sure that when those things have to be replaced, you've got that money so you don't get to the end of the life and say, oh, we've got $10 million worth of water lines to replace and we've got no money to do it. So that depreciation is a really important part of making sure we're saving for those infrastructure improvements. And they are going to come due.
I understand what you're saying, but when you come to me in a meeting prior to this one and you tell me that the water, and you wanted me to look on a page and you tell me that you wanted to tell me that the water lost $745,000 last year, I say, well, okay, but if I took the $937,000, then that would no longer be in parentheses, it would be a positive number. And I still have a $22,700,000 reserve in that account. That's where I get a little, when we're trying to reduce, well, the point I'm trying to get to is our revenues don't meet our expenditures, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix that in a 2, 3, 4 year cycle. But in the meantime, I've got to come up with some way to start reducing the fund balance out of the general fund that we keep using.
But you don't want to
other money.
I think I see what you're saying, but we don't want to reduce the general fund balance at the expense of the fund balances in those enterprise funds. Those are just as important.
There too, yeah.
Right. And we always talk about the need to make sure that we're putting money aside for future capital needs. There's nothing more expensive out there than our power and our water lines, and it's absolutely critical that we're putting that money in there now so that when those replacements come due, we've got money to do it. And that's what the whole purpose of that Waterworth exercise is, to look out several years and say, okay, here's the big projects we know that are coming at us. We know it because we've planned out the project, we've estimated the costs, and in order to be able to meet those costs and not just all of a sudden say, hey, residents, guess what? We've got to do a 100% increase in water rates this year because we don't have any money to do all these, we've got a major water tank replacement coming in a few years, or a new water tank, I should say. And numerous expenditures, right? So, but I just think getting into taking away from those reserves and the enterprise funds is a really bad idea.
Not all of them, just some of it, not all of it. But I guess what I'm saying is you've done the 5 and the 10%, but I don't even know what those projections have gained for us. I don't know, but before I even know what those projections have gained, you want another 10 and 15%. I want to know where they're at.
Yeah, and I have a question, since we're talking about these types of funds. The movement of the fill station is $1.5 million, right?
The fuel station, 500,000.
Can we take that out of one of these funds that he's talking about? Public Works, Power, I'm not looking at the worksheet.
We do have it split. So
Okay,
general fund,
that does not come from the general fund?
small
tiny little
portion
bit
does
does.
because we have parks and mechanics down there and their general fund.
Okay, but we are trying to take from some of those enterprise funds.
Correct.
Yes, they pay,
Okay.
those enterprise funds pay their fair share of
Okay.
anything that goes on at the ops center, including the fuel station.
Okay, and that brings me to my next question. So Ops Center is part of this budget here?
Correct.
Yeah,
This
so
20
this is the general fund, and only a tiny bit of the general fund is going towards the ops center. The vast majority of it is coming out of enterprise funds, because that's what it's power, water, and those utilities that are using the
Okay.
majority.
So can't the whole thing come out of those funds since we've got the money? We have 15 million in enterprise funds. Can't that extra 75,000 that we're taking from general fund come from one of those funds?
And I don't mind that at all because it's a one-time expenditure. Like, you know, if we're talking about saying, oh, let's take
Yeah,
it from this
staff.
other thing, like
Yeah.
for things that are gonna be perpetually happening, then that's an issue. But if we're talking about a one-time expenditure, I think that like every little bit will count. Like if the field, like to Mayor's point, not only the fuel station, but also anything from the new, op station, like I just would say, since it's a one-time, let's take anything and everything out of the increase.
Yes.
And how much would that look like? Because I want to be very mindful of what you're saying, Jason, as well. I think
Yeah,
you're
we don't
spot
want
on. But I also think that we need to.
But this
get
is one of
things in
those
order
deals
a little
where it
bit.
is a one-time capital type
One-time.
improvement. And
Yeah.
I can't think of a better fund to use that
Yeah.
for
It
than
shouldn't come from the
to
general.
count it as part of a general
Yes.
fund portion that's gonna be in there every year now. I don't want.
You're saying it's what, 75?
It's 800,
Is it 80,000?
500,000 or something.
Oh, the general
No,
fund
wait,
portion, it
500.
was like 67,000 a year.
Yeah, 67. So can we do that? That's an easy
I,
thing to move, right?
yeah, I think it's a little bit more transparent to, like Mike said, probably transfer some fund balance to general fund and then general fund still pays because general fund uses it.
Okay, however, it's just. it's
However,
transparent.
yes,
Fine,
You
but
said
as long as it
it's
reduces-
67,000 a year
for the 20-year bond.
for which one? For the
For general
talking about the
fund.
op
for the
center.
op center?
Not the
Six,
fuel
so
line.
67 grand, and then how much was,
I've only done the one-time payment for the fuel, so general fund's portion would be 75,000.
so we've got 150, almost 150 grand,
That we
like
could take down
140
our
grand that we could,
truth in taxation number.
That is either or, you wouldn't do both.
why not?
Because the fuel station, move that cost is built into the op center bond. So we either have to do the whole kit and caboodle of the op center remodel, or
thought there
bare
was a-
minimum move the fuel line.
Pardon, Mayor, but I thought there was an amount that talked about the fuel. I thought in these papers it had a specific cost for the fuel station.
There was a number I saw it.
It's 500,000.
It's 500,000.
500,000. So
75
can't we
for the
just
general
get that done now, and get that fixed and take that out of those enterprise
Yeah.
funds?
Yes,
Because-
but we're just proposing,
reduce
if we're
that.
gonna move it and eventually
We
do
might
the
as well
op
do it
center,
one bond.
we,
I'm just trying to get the expenditures in
Well,
the general
and
fund
if we
down to
don't-
where the revenues are starting to, because I would really love to balance the general fund revenues to the general fund expenditures.
I
And it would
agree
be
with
nice
you.
not to have to pay interest on that if we have it in the enterprise fund on a bond. It's not a huge impact, but still we're paying interest on it, so can't we just take that money out? Or move it however we need to, so that it reduces that amount and we're not paying interest on it.
yeah, I think we have to be sensitive to Prop 5, there's probably rules there
Which
that
I
we have
understand.
to look into.
We need to have a public hearing and explain why we are moving
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
correct.
funds. And I'm 100% all.
yeah, I know,
that
yeah,
public hearing.
so I don't wanna just tell you, yes, we
Okay,
solved it,
okay.
right? I think
Nope.
there's still more to
We
do, but
have to
it's
have a public
creative.
hearing.
Okay.
Yep, we have to have
Wait,
a
so-
public hearing.
But I would also argue, if we're moving fund balance from enterprise to general fund, to save the general fund from bleeding fund balance, aren't you kind of doing that
What I'm-
enterprise
What I'm
funds now?
proposing that we do is we take the fuel island completely out of the general fund
Yes.
and move it to an enterprise fund expenditure.
Yes.
Have public hearings and say, we are going to replace our fuel island with fund balance out of these funds. And that means we have to have a public hearing that says, we're gonna move them out of these enterprise funds.
Yes. And
So
that,
it's
that number
specific
gets
to that.
reduced, right?
Yeah.
And that will reduce our TNT number.
It reduces
No.
TNT
does a
tiny
little
little
bit,
bit,
though.
right?
Yes.
In future years, not for 27. 27, I have it coming out of capital fund balance.
Oh, that's right.
We'll move it from capital to, I mean,
That,
can't you,
that
can't you move it from
that
capital
helps.
to this
I
one to?
mean, that helps
to-
in the budget. I wanna
decrease this
see
amount?
that number reduced.
And yes, but I'm just telling you, it's not gonna affect your TNT.
Why not?
Because I have it budgeted out of the fund balance
Oh,
right
a
now.
different, a
Oh,
different.
you did, I thought you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was coming out of the general fund. the
Well,
65,000.
capital fund is funded by the general
But,
fund.
okay, but wait a minute, Maren, can't you do this? Because you're taking that money out of the enterprise funds
Right,
and using it to do the fuel line.
right.
Can't we still have the money that money, can't we take that money
Put it
now
back
out of
into-
the general fund, put it into and use it as fund balance to pay down the cost? So it's just moving it, but it's gonna look like there's less of a tax increase, more being used out of the fund balance, but we're also replacing the fund balance with enterprise fund balance to do the fuel line.
Yes.
Yes, if I had it budgeted that way. But right now I have it budgeted out of
But
savings.
you could change that, right?
But you can change that,
Obviously.
right?
Yeah, but then it'll raise this just to lower it to the same 21.97.
It'll raise it.
Yes, because right now I have
Right now it's not coming out of
savings covering the fuel island part.
Okay, so you're saying in sixes.
Yes.
Okay. We're just trying to see what we can do
No, I get it.
additionally.
No, I'm not, I feel great. I'm not offended. I understand the
And
goal
you know this
here.
completely more than we do. I get, so do you just.
So I hope you guys aren't offended
No,
either,
no.
because I'm just, like, I'm in this every day, right? This is my job.
We're
And
just
this
coming-
is your job,
We're just
so.
coming up with all these great
Exactly.
suggestions to make your life crazy.
So
Okay.
if, I'm just trying to explain it in a
Yeah,
way.
okay.
I'm all good. We're good. Okay.
Is there a way to, I was just gonna, sorry, is there any, okay, the enterprise funds are not for, well, they could be to help pay for different salaries, right? If it has to do with that department.
Which we already do, yes.
We already do that, so I was
Correct.
just saying the assistant attorney. They do a lot of, land use type of things, and they do a lot of legal things. Could some of that come out of a different account, an enterprise account?
Technically, we could start having her track her time and split it to whatever
maybe reduce
fund.
that amount? I'm just saying, is there a way to, it's more work, I get it.
Yes, I don't think it's gonna be, yes. The answer is yes, we can do that.
Or any of those positions,
Correct.
yes, okay.
We do that with public works positions, mainly, and some of the building guys, I think, are split.
Maybe parks,
Yeah, maybe parks.
okay.
But yeah, everyone else is pretty much out of their specific fund, or department, sorry.
Okay, and those numbers for, let's see, operations inflation, is that a fixed number? Can we reduce that at all? Is that an estimate? That is an estimate.
Based on our meetings with department heads, that is what we came up with. Now, technically, you could have department heads go through and kind of comb but again, like we talked about the hard costs, right? We can't control fuel increase. We can't control the EMS supplies increase. We can't control software, and internet went up and this and that, right? But sure, we could take out, I can't even think of a good example. Because
And we did want to look, I know.
a lot of these are truly just like Jersey costs went up
Okay.
for our rec programs. So,
But don't we pass that cost on?
yeah, we pass it on, but we
Okay.
still have to up the operations to up
But
the
it's
revenue.
offset.
Correct.
Okay, and Nate, so, sorry, the last thing, and I'm probably getting ahead of you, maybe, but I know Nate's been asking for a fleet list.
Oh, and I
As-
talked to him
In
today.
this conversation,
Oh.
are there any vehicles that we donate that we could decommission that would help lower our fuel costs?
I have not gotten that far on the list. I
Okay.
apologize. I just learned of it last week.
Yes.
And then we have the meeting Friday and this
Yes,
special
yes.
meeting. And
Okay.
so
Okay,
I
we
am
can look
working
at
on that
Okay,
to put that together. Yes.
okay. Thanks, we're just trying to do
I know.
everything we can.
And I'm happy to help and answer.
Okay.
We're all good.
I don't know where we landed with the transferring of funds from other things and what we decided to do, I think. But regardless, Prop 5 is only for power, right?
That's what I thought.
Okay,
Yeah.
And
so
we're not
as
talking
long as
about-
we're not moving, well, it was brought up, as long as we're not moving things from power, we don't have to do anything with Prop 5, right? We don't have to, okay.
That's correct.
Okay, because it would, it was talked about, and I am uncomfortable.
I thought it was all enterprise funds, and it just got brought up because of electric.
Oh, it's just power.
Okay, great.
Okay,
And I'm okay with moving some of that out.
well, I'm uncomfortable
Well,
using
Brian
anything
might
from
not.
power without doing something drastic.
Public hearings.
Yeah, we could do a public.
I know, but I don't
It's
want
been
to
10
use
years.
this
Hasn't it been 10 years?
to repeal Prop 5.
Well, the state law says you can use the money out of enterprise funds, always has, and the state
Yeah.
funds right in our code says anytime a state fund is more, it takes precedence over your ordinance, which we've had situations like this before. But, and I don't disagree with you, I think we need to be as transparent as possible, and so we would have to hold a specifically different public hearing for that electric to use any money out of that enterprise funds for.
I understand.
Okay.
I just am not a huge fan of using this as an excuse to access it, especially when our water worth models show that we're still struggling in that fund anyways. It seems odd to me that we're saying, oh man, our general fund is so low, let's take from other general funds that are also struggling. We're like doing the same thing, only like in another layer.
That was
I
kind of my point too.
guess I'm missing out. Explain to me how it's struggling, please. I need to
Well,
know how
Marin's
the
the
power
money
fund
person.
is struggling.
How the power fund is struggling?
Yes, I need to know how the power fund is
I only know what the
struggling.
graphs say, and they say we're going down even with our rate raises. Is that correct, Marin?
Correct.
Is that with the projections of the last 10% increase that we did?
No. Well, last year when we presented an increase, we also presented we would have to do increases every year moving forward. Same with how we presented this year.
But that 10% will compound in future years.
Correct, but we, as will operation costs, UAMPS costs, employees costs.
I understand all of that, but I want to know where the projections go with our increase. I want to see what that did to the graph. What did it exactly do to the
The
graph?
graph
We
shows
showed
what
it.
it is. The
We
graph
showed it.
incorporates the
You
10%
showed it
on Friday.
It included the 10%.
Correct, on Friday we showed
Okay,
that.
my mistake.
So I think that's why I'm uncomfortable using, I mean, sure, 75,000 one time for the fuel island.
Sure.
But a continuing ongoing for the ops center, maybe not. Especially if it comes out of power.
Comes out of what?
Power.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's a little strained. I
Well, the
can hear
op
you.
center should come out of power.
Right,
because
its part should come out of power,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
saying the additional 67,000, I'm not sure should come out of power since a lot of it's restricted with that Prop 5.
And the last time we brought it up with the public, I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
It's been a few years.
Yeah,
But I'm not
there
sure
was-
why you'd even have to be honest, I'm not sure why you even have to. Because the power department uses the fuel line. I'm not sure why you would even have to have a public hearing.
No, that
Because
is a
there's
good
other
point.
departments that use it as well.
Because you
But
can
your
only
fund is
incorporate the percentage that
$500,000,
they
and I
use.
understand that, $500,000, and you just take their proportionate share, and you could take it out of their enterprise, out of their unrestricted funds,
Mm-hmm.
and you could say the power company, and you would not have to do a public hearing, and they should pay for their proportionate share of the fuel island being replaced.
Well, I think they are.
And they are.
That's
Okay,
already
all
incorporated.
right. And that's all, and that's what I've been trying to say, is let's take that 500,000 out of the enterprise funds, and then use the 500,000 that we're talking about, that we say that you're gonna do in fund balance, and use it for paying down the other, the main one.
Sure.
And so we're using less taxes to make
Yeah.
up the 3 million. That's what I'm saying.
That is $75,000,
Yeah.
yes,
I mean,
500,000 is what it is.
not out of general fund.
500 is spread
And
among the
that's the thing.
funds.
I understand,
Okay.
spread out, I understand that, but to buy the fuel island is a one-time purchase, one time.
Yeah.
We gotta get it done this year.
So I do have a question about that. So if we bond for a ops center remodel, which we've been talking, which is included in this 21%,
Correct.
right? And we put the fuel line in as part of the bond, and we've got to have this fuel line in by December of, no.
This year?
Next year?
This year.
This year. But how soon are we really planning on remodeling the ops center? That means that we would be remodeling it starting this year?
Yeah, I think we already have some designs works. I think we already have a lot of that. So
Yeah.
yes, we would start it. now, and part of that would be the fuel.
Okay, I guess I was just wondering if we put that,
So the op center bond payment is in this? Where at? Which line?
Capital projects, fund balance.
yeah.
It is not in the truth and taxation, it is in this budget.
Oh, I'm looking at the truth, okay.
Okay,
It's not in
so-
the truth
so
and taxation.
Truth and taxation is not
That's a lot to
affected
keep
by
track
that,
of.
Correct.
right? That's totally separate.
At this, in this fiscal year, 27, it is not affected.
Next year will be.
Correct,
And that's why you look at a projection of 30% next year.
correct.
Okay.
That
So
plus the fires, yes.
if the fire station passed, that's two
Correct.
capital projects in 1 year that are significant. So that would be a lot. So, okay, that being the case, I'm just wondering, if the fire station bond doesn't pass, I think, yeah, okay, do the bond for the op center next year. If the fire station bond does pass, I don't think we should do both in the next year. So is there a way to delay that operations center bond in this fiscal tax year? Talk about it next year after we see if the fire station bond passes.
From what, yes, we just have to do the bare minimum 500,000 fuel island, from what I
Okay, and
understand.
so in that, part of that
Jason, is that
discussion
correct?
is, why couldn't we just
Right.
use, and I know it's not convenient, I talked to Jason about this, but why couldn't we, at least for 1 year, just use the fuel station at the fire station and then wait and do both of them at the same time in 2 years? Assuming that the fire station bond doesn't pass.
Right.
Then we don't have 2 more bonds out.
We,
If that doesn't work at all,
I'm
you
just
tell
saying,
me.
it'd be really tough to move them big old snow plows in.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
that
Jason
driveway,
said. I'm just thinking, is there a way to
it'd be
save money?
really tough to not be.
I just don't think we should have 2 big bonds in the same year.
I agree with you 100%.
And I just don't think that, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree as well.
So I think we should wait and see if the fire station bond passes this year. We'll know in November, and then we'll be able to put the the bond for the op center on next year. And know that the fire station discussion won't come up again for 5-6 years.
assuming
Can you just
it
clarify
doesn't
one thing
pass?
for me, though? The bond is not in this for the shop, right?
Not
The
correct.
shop is not in, but it's in the budget
Correct.
under what? How's it being paid for?
Capital projects, fund balance.
Capital projects fund balance being paid for how?
Fund balance.
Fund balance.
Yes, the
all
unrestricted
fund
capital
balance.
projects fund balance.
Not general fund balance.
But it would be
Correct.
part of the general
It
fund
is
next
general-
year.
It is general fund balance.
No, it is not. It is separate. It was funded by general fund at one point, but it landed in capital projects fund balance.
But next year, there would be a bond payment, so truth and taxation would go up for that payment
Where
next
does
year.
capital projects fund balance come from?
General fund. Money.
So in order
A
to-
transfer.
Oh, okay. So in order to put money there, you have to take it out of the general fund.
But
So
the
it's part of
money's
the
already-
expenditures, okay? So it's part of the expenditures. So if you did get a bond, it's part of the expenditures and it would be year to year. And so somehow you'd have to transfer money from the general fund revenues into that to pay that bond down, correct? Or not?
That is correct.
Okay, that's,
And that
But
was,
in fiscal year 27, I have proposed capital projects fund balance. So the Bob Center bond payment is not coming out of a truth and taxation increase.
Because we're not.
For-
we're
for-
not
still
making
being
it-
paid for through fund balance.
but then next year, it will be, and moving on, the bond payment will come out
Oh.
until it's paid off from
What am I
this
saying?
It's gonna
account.
come
Yeah.
back out of
Yes.
general fund, which we don't have.
Right,
revenue
that's what I'm
for.
saying, so I don't think we should have them both on at the same time,
These ratios don't make sense to me.
okay?
So the maybe the 1.795251 isn't changing as we change stuff.
That top one, you're talking about the bolded one?
Uh-huh.
That's just the
That
starting
was a
point.
proposal, sorry.
That was the original.
The
Okay.
line
And
down
we've-
here.
Now, with everything we've talked about now, it's 1.2 million.
Gotcha.
I didn't realize that wasn't showing, I
No,
apologize.
you're good. That's helpful for me, because I was like, wait,
Man, that's really delayed.
How does everyone feel about that?
how's everybody feel about
About
that?
having potentially 2 bonds at the same time. So if the
No,
fire station
no.
bond passes next year, we would have that, and we would also have the bond for the fire station, the op center, because we would have agreed to it this
Then
year.
you're probably looking at a bigger tax increase than you are this
That's what I'm
year.
saying, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so we just do
okay.
one or the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So are we
Right.
comfortable with that? That would mean that we would remove the op center out of this fiscal year
Yes.
calculation.
Boy, that's really.
So Jason, I'm curious to hear from you, like, on this, because I hate putting off the op center, but I think we're kind of found ourselves in a predicament here. The fire station and the op center.
So if the fire station passes, then we'll have that bond. Does that mean that we don't want to do the bonds for the op center the next year because we will have had the fire station bond then? And how far do we push off the op center bond?
I would think until the police station is paid off.
Until how long, sorry?
Until the police station's paid
Until the
off.
police station.
2032. Oh, 2032.
Whoa.
How does that work for the op center? And
I mean, that would mean we would just cut.
2031 is the last payment, so 2032 budget wouldn't have that payment in it.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, believe me, I would love the city to have everything nice. I get that, I really do. At the same time, that is a lot. And I think it will be an east-west sort of conversation on the bond for the fire station. I do hope it passes. I think it would be great if the citizens voted for that, but to have two, that's
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of bonds
It's a lot of money.
at one
It
time.
is. It's a
And
huge tax increase.
Yeah, that's
Well, the
huge.
vast majority of that one is enterprise funds though.
It's enterprise, and I
And you
mean,
said it will come out of this general fund next, the payment will start not this year, but next year, unless I'm misunderstanding you.
Yes, for
67.
60,000.
Only $67,000
Only
of it will.
67.
And that's one of the things
Which
that
is
if
why-
we were to change it, so essentially they have the payment for the op center is mostly coming out of the enterprise
Right.
funds.
So it's
And
only
so
$67,000. Okay.
I would probably I would probably say in that case, like, it's back to like the Prop 5, like, you know, if we're using the money to help the power company, that's money that they have. I think we should stick with what we've got with the op center. But I do like the idea of even that 67,000, I like moving it, like, so that the whole thing's being paid through that fund. I don't think that we should be paying for 67,000 of it
Okay.
through the other funds.
Okay, that being the case, we would still have two more bonds. That's my point. It's still debt to the city.
It's still debt. Yeah.
So, just be mindful of that.
Yeah.
It is still debt to the city.
We can pay for it. We projected to be able to pay for it, right?
Yeah, and just to be devil's advocate, in the grand scheme of debt, we don't have
That much.
that much. And the auditor themselves, this last December, said
Get more?
debt isn't, basically,
Yeah.
yeah,
debt isn't bad to be able to do projects and move forward
Yeah,
and
that's true.
create a better environment for employees to work and create, provide better services.
Okay.
and well, those bonds do come due soon, get retired soon, 2031 for the police
I'm sorry,
station
you're
is
gonna disraise.
is soon. I also worry that, those costs also only go up. We see construction costs just, holy cow, 5 years ago, we should have built that, but I fear that if we hold off on the power or the op center for 5 more years, we're looking at a lot more expensive project at that point. So, there's pluses and minuses for sure.
And things being open to the elements and it's just
Right.
wearing on our equipment and
Oh,
all
okay.
those things.
So could we commit that payment, that 67,000, whatever that number, comes out of the enterprise fund and not the general fund? For the
Probably.
payments, for the payments.
With, yeah,
So that it
doing
doesn't
the
affect our
hearings.
tax
So it doesn't-
increase
yeah.
next year and be bigger. I know it's not that much bigger, but an
Sure,
increase is.
and we can figure out how to split
If you
it.
can figure out how to split that.
It'll probably increase, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the way we came up with the bond schedule was working with department heads to figure out what their usage is between different funds.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that was the portion that was general fund, the 67,000.
Which is parks, mechanics, yeah.
Right, and so, yeah, we could change it, but we're also, I don't know.
That would change enterprise to increase those rates a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's what I was gonna ask. Will
67.
that increase those rates?
Yes, but divided across the 5 other funds that there are, power, water,
It's not
roads.
gonna be huge.
It's not gonna be huge.
Right, okay. I would prefer that. That would just be my vote.
Great.
Figure that out. Okay.
So leave it in this budget, but take it out general fund.
Yes.
Right.
That would be my vote. What do you guys all think?
I would agree with that.
I think we're also all gonna have to admit to ourselves that we're not gonna be able to
remember
say,
this.
hey, lower rates. Well, no, we need lower rates. We're like, we can't raise rates. Like, if we're gonna move this into those funds, we're gonna have to pay for it with those funds and not dip into those fund balances.
Or a combination, right?
Sure.
There are 100 ways to skin a cat. I'll say that multiple times.
I just mean, it would be irresponsible to move it over and then plan to take it out of that fund balance and say, oh no, we don't want to raise rates this year.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So let's not.
Correct.
You know, I think otherwise we're gonna be
There
robbing
will
Peter
be
to
a
pay Paul.
But
Whatever that phrase is.
Yes,
It will
there'll
pay
be a
for itself,
delicate
though.
dance there.
It will, in theory, pay for itself.
100%.
With the fees generated from those entities.
And
That's how
the
it should be.
positive morale and the equipment being saved and all
Okay.
of that, like, you can't put a
Okay.
number on it.
There's immediate benefits financially to us by saving equipment. Also, it's not like we don't have other major projects coming up down the road with those enterprise funds. I mean, we've got a big water tank, we've got other things that we're gonna have to bond for as well. So I'd say the sooner we just start tackling what's in front of us, and then we'll get that done and then move on to the next projects in the enterprise funds down the road.
You've convinced me, Jason.
So keep you both.
Good job.
You
One
convinced
for the team.
You convinced me as well, so.
Okay.
I want to add one other thing. I don't think today's discussion necessarily should be enterprise, but we are we're conscious of all the different rates. So if you remember, our plan is to delay water paying their portion anyways. So I think the goal is we're trying to be creative as we can be.
Okay.
So
I appreciate that.
I think to your point, moving the general fund portion, again, that's doable, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, anyway, that's how we created this budget,
Okay.
yeah.
We appreciate the efforts that you made.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
All of our
And I appreciate this discussion.
As we're talking general fund,
Great.
responsible questions.
and since we're supposed to adopt a budget on Thursday, which
Tentative,
I
yeah.
haven't seen one yet.
Right. You'll see it Thursday. Or tomorrow.
But we're adopting it
packet.
before we actually have time to go through it, we're just adopting it,
A
I guess.
tentative.
But tell me, what is our general fund expenditures in the 2027 budget? What is that line item?
26,800,000.
26,800,000. 26,800,000, so it's actually gone up from last year.
About 700,000.
Well, last year's was 26,672,000. So you're saying it's going up to 26 million now? I'm only going off what you guys hand me.
No, that's
so-
what we're looking at, too.
So.
That's
and-
688
And basically,
increase.
I guess where I'm really concerned, and this is is in 2023, our general fund expenditures were 21,300,000, and now they're gonna be 26 million, how much?
26,800,000.
26,800,000, so they're basically gonna go up about 4.5 million
In 5 years.
5 years.
And 3 of those years were unprecedented inflation from 2020.
This was 2023, inflation was in 2022.
I know, but a lot of that is a lag. A lot of that is a lag on our budgets.
And that was
And I think it
the,
went 8%, 4%, 2.5%. Is about.
That's
where it was.
possible.
but that's
Yeah.
that's everything.
Yeah, that's
We're not
what
buying
I'm
milk and
saying.
bread, we're buying fuel and.
But it goes back to my issue of, we're only still collecting in revenue the 20, what's the revenue? Revenue is like 22 million. We're collecting 22 million in revenue, but we're spending 26 million. There's a $4 million gap there. That's where I'm concerned, and that's what we're just not fixing it. I wanna know what's the 2, 3, 4 year plan to.
I think
And
there's,
that's what
Is it a
that's-
20% tax increase for the next 4 years?
Yes,
that's
that's what
exactly
that
what we just talked
projection
about.
tab showed.
Okay.
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna need to, yeah.
Is there anyone, okay.
And I just want to point out that what you're looking at on there, those first couple years, 2023, 2024, those are actuals too, right from our ACFR. And
Yeah.
so,
I've got all those with me, the actuals.
and if you remember last year, we had like it's been pointed out, we had a $700,000 difference in what we had budgeted versus where we ended up landing. And so this number you're seeing this year, the 26,784,159. That's also where we budgeted much closer to actual. And so
in 2025, our revenues was 22.4 million. So are you saying in 2026, we're gonna get a lot more in our general fund revenues? Or are we looking at a $4 million gap, $3 million gap?
He's saying 2026 still has that insurance,
right.
I don't want to call it fluff, space where everyone was budgeted a family plan. So remember how last year we were like, fiscal year 25, we used a bunch of fund balance, and it was only like less than 200,000? I think we'll see that in fiscal year 26 as well.
Yeah, I
But
think
you've already accounted for that, or
I
you haven't
didn't,
yet?
I have not, because I don't know what it'll be.
And when
So
does those numbers occur?
After our audit.
audit is usually between September and November.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, we had budgeted 24 million as expenditures in 2025, but actual was 23,100,000. I
Correct.
imagine we're gonna see something relatively somewhere
So-
similar to that,
Yes.
I'm hoping. But it's just, I'm concerned that we keep going up $1 million every year, but our revenues aren't even coming close to catching up with it.
And
So we're
that's-
gonna do a tax increase, I
Yes, sir.
get it.
So how much
Yes, sir.
how much are you covering this year? Because I guess the advantage of covering some of this increase with general fund, fund balance, is somewhat banking on the fact that we might be off by $1 million, and that'll cover.
And I don't have that in this one, because I didn't want to make that assumption, and yeah.
But this is, so you're saying we're putting 991. From that, but last year we were off by how much? $1 million or more than $1 million?
I don't think it was that much.
It was 900,000.
Yeah.
We were off by like 900,000. So, that it may end up being,
I mean, conservatively, yeah.
it might end up
probably
being a wash.
five.
Will you show us the price per household again?
Yes.
Dollar amount based upon what we've just done? The conversation we've just had, okay. So I take a picture of it.
Sorry, I should just not extend it and duplicate it now.
Do you have control over TV?
Well,
No, just her.
Hey, Maria, can I also request
So
after
she's
this to go
HDMI
back
on
to
this
the
one,
graph
and
of the
projecting
tax
on the-
rates
Yes.
from, since 1997?
Yeah, let me just,
Oh, are you gonna leave that screen now?
I'm just gonna duplicate instead of playing
Okay.
in the double game.
So when was the big inflation that we're talking about? You said
Those
2022, right?
21, 22, 23, the red box.
Okay, so I think it's
vast
fair that even though we're calculating, it's been brought up from 2023 on, during those massive inflation things, our rate went down quite a bit. So it's almost like we're playing catch up, yeah?
No, but you understand, because the valuation of the houses go up with inflation, the valuations go up, the tax rate goes down. It still generates the same amount of revenue. You just times it by a lower number.
Right, and
because-
she's saying we
Right,
didn't capture it.
but I'm saying
Right,
inflation
I
went
understand
up
that.
and the
Right.
amount we were capturing either stayed the same.
Stayed exactly the same.
Yeah,
Other than
it
we
did
the
not go
tax
up
increase.
with inflation during those
Other
years, is
than we
what
did
I'm
the
trying to
tax
highlight.
increase at that time.
Correct.
Unless we did, well, but obviously not a
We did do a
massive
tax
one.
increase for the firefighters and stuff.
Right, but
That was
not
in
a
21.
huge one, is because the rate, I understand the rate and the amount we're collecting are different, but that amount collected does not look like it's gonna cover the inflation that we experienced during that time, and we're still playing catch up, I think is what I'm trying to say. So I think starting from 2023 may not give us the best picture of where our finances are from the last decade. Or 5 years, or, does that?
See what you're saying?
Right? Am I wrong? I don't want to be misleading, but to me, that looks like we lost money and now we're paying for it.
I think one of the years we used over 2 million of fund balance. It was in 22 or 23, very recently.
yes.
Can you go back to that last year?
Sorry. The inflation or the spreadsheets or?
The one that
Yeah.
was the spreadsheet.
Okay.
I just love looking at it.
Yeah.
I love it too, thank
You've
you.
done such a great job.
You're so nice
On
to
the
me.
blue section, can you just type in?
Yeah, I mean, if you assume that
on
inflation's
one
gone
of
up every
those
year.
lines, type in 1.2 million.
Wait, what did you just do?
Is that what you wanted to do?
It didn't take the percentage down.
That's,
You gotta
Because it
take-
it has to
wasn't,
be on the.
You gotta take one of those
It has to be on the
off.
white one.
Because those are all the costs.
Oh, well, then that's not fun. I was excited for it to go to zero and say my job's done. That's how I do my finances. I just type it in, I'm like, oh, hey,
we're not time for your shenanigans.
we did it!
If you go on your bank account and do HTML to.
Yeah, it changed
Change
this.
the number.
This is good, yeah, that's right. Okay, well, just a little bit of lighthearted to make us all remember what we're doing is good.
Thank you, John.
I just want to reiterate that every T&T we've done, we've had specific reasons for doing it. And what this spreadsheet is showing you are those specific reasons on why we did it last year and this year as well. I just wanted to point that out there, because when we're looking at our budget and saying, well, our expenses are going up, that's exactly what we're showing you here, fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27. This is what makes up that increase.
I don't know why that turned off.
Why did that go off?
Because it's a computer.
Because it's a presentation.
Okay, I have a question. So we took out the deputy fire chief, right?
Yes.
Assuming that we could, we get this bond or this thing passed. If we don't get it passed, we promised him, this will be our 4th year, promising him to have his deputy.
Okay.
So.
Yep, we
we're
got all
almost-
that.
Well,
Well,
we
just,
haven't promised, he's asked.
We've agreed that it's
Okay,
a need,
we've
maybe.
agreed that it's a need. So what kind of consensus can we come up with for the future? I
What kind
guess,
of
I mean,
deputy fire chief.
Hmm.
I mean, I did say, Jason.
I think he's-
You guys figure it out.
He's-
I only said that out of frustration because
I think
I don't
he's
know how
okay
to
with
figure
it.
it out.
I think he'll be okay with it.
But I don't expect, I mean, if that's a need, which there is, how are we going to figure that out? I
Well,
guess?
it'll be we used to talk about if we could just get staffing increases down to maybe 1 or 2 a year, like that would be great.
Yeah.
If we come next year with 1, it'll be that.
Okay.
I know it's a big one, but it's one
I know
position.
it's a big job. I know that there are things Chief can't get to because
And-
he just literally can't do it.
I think, yeah, public safety is obviously is a high priority. There's a cost to that. I don't know how else to.
Yeah, okay. What are you whispering about?
I was laughing at John.
What's John whispering?
I'm figuring stuff out. I'm trying to get, I was just telling Mike, his hair is something else today. He's been using some other product on him, so I can't.
So at this point, we're down to 21.97.
Which just pushes it to other years.
I'm just not convinced. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to raise tax a lot. Like, we're feeling it just as much as anyone else. And if we feasibly can take it down to this rate, then fine. But I just wonder if we're continually setting ourselves up for the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, it's our job to have these hard conversations. It's our job to make the decisions. If this is where we're comfortable, that's fine. But I do worry that we're continually pushing it down. And it's just, I mean, this year we feel like we're in a panic, but it's just going to keep getting worse, I think, if we keep pushing things off. It's like, you don't get through your checklist unless you check off the things. Like, I mean, and in the past we've put off things and they have fallen off the list. So that's definitely a possibility also. But I do worry, not that I want to raise taxes more. I mean, that sucks. The whole thing sucks. But I want to make sure that we're very comfortable with wherever we land. And we're not just putting things off to put things off because this year sucks. Because every year will suck.
I will advocate again for truth in taxation every year. You guys, there is a reason that I've been harping on this since we started on council. Not because I liked taxes and tax discussions, but it's transparent.
Yeah.
We talk about it, we go through the process, we look and see where we are high, low, we can project for the future. And I think that part of the reason is that we haven't done that and we haven't been consistent. So I get what you're saying as far as pushing some things off. That 59%, that's the assumption that this fire station passes, right? And 61 if it doesn't, because we will have to remodel the fire station that we currently have.
Correct.
Okay. The remodel of the current fire station, can that be spread over a 2-year period, or does it all have to be funded at one time?
It's an expansion, I guess, really, or, well,
You can bond for it, just like we did here.
Yeah.
bonding is expensive. I mean, I don't see people bonding for $1.5 million just because it's,
No,
but
Could the changes be made like modularly though? Like a couple changes 1 year, a couple changes, or is it all one big construction?
Can phase.
So,
we could look into it. I don't know, honestly.
I do know
We need to have
others,
it broken down and to see.
I do know other cities that bond for multiple things at one time. And they'll say, we just did this, $15 million bond, and we knocked all these things out. And
Oh, yeah,
so
we talked about
I know
that.
you can, I know you can do that. Not that that's a good idea, but sometimes if the rates are appropriate and stuff, you can do that. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
We could kind of like just model that financially and see what would be in the city's best interest if we'd save money by bonding versus just trying to
if we
pay
just did
for it
one
at
bond,
once.
we did a bond for the operations and the fire station together as one bond instead of 2 bonds, do we save money on that? To wrap both projects together. I know that other cities do that kind of thing, so.
That's a great point.
Well, I mean, I would, yeah, and we have to bond for the field house, right? So
Maybe we bond for all 3 at the
maybe
same
we
time.
bond for the field house and the fire station, if it's the $1.5 million version
Yeah.
all together.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah, that's a great
Okay.
idea to look at.
Okay.
Okay, so your goal, at least from my standpoint, is to get a list together of that 430 plus. Is that gonna be manageable?
I'm
Is that gonna be manageable, the $430,000 of increased hard costs, soft costs, whatever we're calling them? That list is something that you could pull out,
Probably.
possibly for us? I think that would be interesting to look at, just because where we're putting it into something where we're counting on it to be a continual expense. It'd be interesting to see like, oh, well, maybe this price goes down, maybe gas prices go down, maybe these things go down. And if that's the case, I want to look at like, okay, well, maybe budgeting it for future expenses is not the best idea. It's like, is it a one-time type of deal? I just think, Nate,
That's fair.
does that make sense? I just
Yes.
like to see kind of
Sure.
what those things mean, because boy, that's a
Chief texted you about
huge
this
increase.
station.
I'm just curious in terms of like
did you already read it?
fuel, when were those numbers calculated? Like, the
Well,
last
it's just,
weeks
it's just,
or-
I think it, yeah, I mean, it seems like a
The last few
lot.
weeks have been unprecedented.
Crazy high, right? Yeah. So, anyway,
so there's one other thing that is possible that maybe you could do.
Okay.
Let's say we projected a truth in taxation of 20% for 4 years, didn't do a fire station, didn't do a shop, waited 4 years. Can you let us know where that would possibly get us as far as the general fund goes, as far as revenues and expenditures?
Is that?
Just calculating inflation into the general fund.
so I think if you didn't
Yeah.
do those stations, you'd be crushing it.
And that's what I'd like to see, because if that's a possibility, if we could do something similar to that for 4 years, yes, it's gonna hurt and everything's gonna have to be tight and that, but I'd like to see what it would turn out. I'd like to see where we would be. I'd like to see if we did a 20% truth in taxation for 4 years in a row and didn't do the great big projects, which we know we have to pay for the field house. That we can't get out of. That's an absolute. I would like to know where that puts us as far as general fund revenues and expenditures. Where's that at? Because, that might be one of the hard decisions you have to say is we've got to stop the bleeding. And the only way to do this is to get us to where we're at a net zero and then start talking about projects. But where we're losing $1 million or getting $1 million behind every year, it's hard for me to talk about these additional projects where I know we're getting behind every year.
I'm curious where that would put us in 3 years.
I'd like a plan like that of some kind, you know?
So this is where it is. I took out the 1.5, so in the projections without fire station section, I took out the op center and that 1.5 million for the fire station remodel.
Projects, so we're still at 57%?
Correct.
So it didn't really, it's 2%.
So I guess I don't understand what you
It
did.
didn't really impact us.
I'm saying that we did a tax increase of 20%
For 4 years.
for 4 years. Can't you just, and tell me how that, right now our revenues are 22 million roughly in our general, well, not really, because 22% it's only going to affect the one line of property tax. Doesn't really affect everything.
I mean, I could do that, but we're still gonna be underfunded, because I've already projected out revenues and expenses.
You've projected that out with the station in there, though. He was
No,
saying,
I just took it out.
oh,
You took it out. And so
In the projections
I guess
without
I'm
fire
missing, where's the
station.
20% in 27, 20% in 28, 20% in 29? How much revenue does that generate? And how does that match with say a 5% or a 4% inflationary number? Where do we come out? I want to know where we come out.
You want to see what that would do like to our fund balance or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I can do that, but I mean, off of this fiscal year 28, we're gonna use, what, 2.5 million of fund balance to cover the expenses.
wait.
Even if we're doing a 20% increase every year.
Yes, because I can't spend money that we haven't earned. So fiscal year 28, I still have to cover all those expenses. Therefore, I'm gonna have to use fund balance.
I thought you said this year we're only using 995.
Yes, we are in fiscal year 27, but if he's saying fiscal year 27, do 20%,
Okay,
and then fiscal year 28, change that to 20%, it's gonna be around the 1 million
I
again.
got you. So you're thinking it needs to be 59.37 even if you don't do the fire stations?
Sorry, the bottom one, the projections without fire
So
station.
you think it'd be 57? The fire station only changes at 2%?
Yeah, that's what I,
Yes, because we're using capital fund balance
Ah,
and fire
gotcha.
impact fee
Gotcha,
fund
gotcha,
balance
gotcha.
for that first year.
That's crazy.
So then,
Or for the remodel, I'm sorry.
then it's the third year where it drops down.
Correct.
Just
No,
wondering what a 20% tax increase did as far
I
as
gotcha.
bringing it into our revenue.
It'll be about the 1 million, the same that fiscal year 27
So we're
is.
Well, Mike, are you saying take out the remodel as well?
Yeah, take everything off except for the general fund expenses, no big stuff.
Sorry, what just happened? There's a lot of noises.
I don't see.
Mike, I'm just saying, to do the 20%, I'm assuming it would match this fiscal year 27.
I think you're tracking because what she's saying is a 57. If you drop that to 20 and then the next year instead of 9 you did 20 and then the next year instead of 5 you did 20, I think it would track. It'd be about the same.
Which is fine, but fiscal year 28, you're still gonna be in trouble because I have to,
I
have
understand,
expenses
but
up
maybe
to
by
4.
year 29 and 30, we're catching up finally. That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
get
looking for
that.
a plan. I'm looking for a
That's fair,
4
but
or 5 year
what happens
plan.
when an emergency comes in fiscal year 30 and we have less than $1 million of fund balance?
So you constantly have to use fund balance. I mean, it's not gonna change, to do a 20% increase on this 5,600,000 and something thousand every year for the next 4 years. I'm still gonna have to use fund balance when I'm not doing any.
Why not just assume?
On this year, yes, based on this projection. Because I need a tax increase of 4 million, you're saying only do a tax increase of 1.
Why do we need that 4 million tax increase?
Yeah, why do you need the 4
I'm
million tax
confused by
increase?
the huge amount increase.
Because we're not using $1 million of fund balance, we're not using NBA fund balance anymore, we're not using the debt service fund balance anymore, and general fund balance I took out.
Okay, is
So,
there a
to
point
your
when we
point-
used $1 million, and if, let's say we used $1 million of fund balance for 3 years with it, by the 4th year, could we quit using fund balance and be caught up?
Well, we'd have to, because our fund balance would be 0.
Can't do that.
At the end of fiscal year 27, our fund balance is gonna be like 5 or something.
Only
If you go to that fund balance tab.
Only if we're assuming that last year was the same as the previous year, it won't be like that.
No, I have that we don't, yes, I'm sorry. Yep, you are correct.
So really, the only mechanisms we have to increase our revenue internally is increase impact fees, maybe? Look at that.
Yes, which
Right?
we have that study in the
Which
budget.
we're going to do that study. That will help us a little bit. We don't have a ton of development, but we can charge a fair rate for the development that occurs.
Yes.
We have really tried to do some economic development tools within our cities to be able to attract businesses. That was shot down by our residents and not very well received.
Correct.
And we did try to do that. We spent 5 years working on that to try to help ourselves generate revenue and opportunities and economic opportunities for growth. People want to build higher density homes within our community. Our residents don't like that. So we say no to that as much as possible, and we try to monitor and manage that within the confines of what our community wants. And so I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know. We have done literally everything. We did a big Trader Joe's thing. We've been trying to reach out. We've been trying to get businesses that are appropriate for Kaysville. And there's only so much that we can do. But we have chosen a lifestyle here. We are hometown. We want to be that way. We are churches, schools, and people, homes. And because of that, we are paying a price. And that's a hard thing to talk about and tell people, but that's the truth. So aside from going back and doing a new RDA and trying to, which we're, going to try to circle that wagon again and attract some businesses. We're having a dealership come in. That'll help with tax revenue. We need to be grateful for these businesses willing to do business in our city.
Yeah.
But also our expectation is high. So you look at our budget and I think, okay, where can we really cut? What do? Sell parks?
Well,
What do? Not replace equipment?
I think like if, I don't know if you can
Those
pull
aren't
that
answers.
slide of where we supply as a city compared to the other cities. I think the point that you're bringing up, Mayor, is a very valid point, because you look at the cities that are the highest, the majority of them are supplementing their lifestyle or their life through property taxes, because they aren't generating revenue from
Yes.
businesses.
Yes.
So like Woods Cross, West Point, West Bountiful, those are like, for the most part, they don't have businesses there. And so they're saying like, hey, as a resident, the only way we can pay for things is through property taxes. And your point is that as Kaysville, if we continue to say that we want to be more like those cities, we will have to increase the property tax to pay for it.
Or we figure out how, as a state, to find some other source of revenue, right? Nobody wants property tax. I would love to get rid of it. Every single person in Utah would love to get rid of it. I don't know what we replace it with. I know there are other states looking at options. I don't know what the answers are, but that's the only way we help ourselves. Manage costs, like Mike's saying, but at the same time, you can't be stagnant. We still have to replace lines and infrastructure and make sure that our community stays nice, because that's why people like it here. That's why they want to live here. Our values are high because we've held the line. So, it's frustrating. I guess my point is, none of us want to make these decisions, but like you said, we have to make hard decisions.
Yeah.
And it's irresponsible to not make decisions when we need to.
Yeah.
And saying, I'd love to just say no to a property tax, believe me. That would be a very easy thing to do. But we can't do that because that's not responsible. So I appreciate staff being willing to look at this with us, because we've had multiple meetings about this. I appreciate council, all of your input, your suggestions.
Where would 0.0 now that we're down to like what, 30 or 20 whatever, I bet that puts us at a proposed rate that's much significantly lower than 0.001923.
I've also talked to the 15 cities in Davis County, and so far I think 7 of them are doing truth in taxation this year. Yeah. I think that there are 7 so far that have committed to doing it. I don't know what their numbers are like, but they've said yes, we will have some sort of truth in taxation.
0.1775.
Wow.
Which was I didn't know, see where that fell.
What's
I
0.1775?
printed it out if you want to let
Our new-
Hack
on a new spot.
So same spot.
Oh, so we're right where we started.
But lower in the same
there's a
spot.
bit-
But
Huge gap.
closer to Fruit Heights rather than Centerville.
Oh, my.
That's hilarious. All that for that.
We're still in the same spot.
Yeah, but it means a lot to our residents.
I know,
It- it-
I know.
it
I'm
does.
sorry, I'm not trying to be insensitive.
we know.
I understand, but
It's just a
I
brain
understand
work.
the point, yeah.
It's a framework
Because we
to,
have to do it again next year and next year.
yes, but we
If
do.
anything, we're gonna make it, we're just making it harder for ourselves to.
I think we'll be
Yeah.
here at this exact time talking the same conversation next year.
And surprised that we have
To
capital
Mike's
needs,
point,
just like we are
we
every
gotta
year.
fix it.
Yeah,
Something's gotta give.
It's gotta be
I'm not sure what that is.
I don't either.
know. And then the sad part is the only thing this damn thing's gonna do is fix the 5 million number. It doesn't fix anything else.
Right.
That's all it does, fix the $5 million number, $6 million, 5.8, 5, whatever.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
But that's our only way that we can get money. And, I know that you guys really, you talk bad about how Kaysville ran early days from previous administrations, but they used to call it Kaysville City Corporation because they ran it like a business. And they ran it specifically based on revenue. And if they had the revenue, that's what the budget was. And if it meant we had to increase the budget to cover, that's when they would do a tax increase. But basically, new growth covered most of everything at that point.
Sure.
But it was more than 1%. New growth it sometimes was 5%, 6%.
yeah.
And it's like, it's really hard when you have all your neighbors and they're all on a budget. And if I don't make my budget at my house, I can't ask my neighbors to make up the budget.
Mike,
Well, that's what we're doing
yeah,
here.
I-
is We're asking our neighbors to make up the city's budget because we can't make
about.
it.
But we're also paying
None
for
of
the
us-
past example you
none of
just
us wanna
gave.
do
The
that.
past example, but that's how they ran it. And that's why I'm trying to figure out, in a
I would like
5-year,
to-
4-year plan, how to get these revenues up so that we're at net zero, so that when these
Yeah.
projects come up, like a fire station
Yeah.
or the shops, we're saying, okay, we're gonna do truth in taxation to cover inflation, just stay at net zero, but we're also gonna have to bond for this. But it seems like we're just
I-
never getting ahead,
I
ever.
know, it's frustrating.
So.
Believe me, it's so
Yeah, we're
frustrating.
I woke
We're
up at 4
scrambling
in the
to catch
morning
up.
and I had all this stuff out. I mean, I've been up
Yeah,
since
yeah.
doing all
Believe
this
me,
crap since 4.
yeah, ask my husband, I haven't slept for a long time.
Yeah.
This is really frustrating, and what's
Great.
frustrating is I don't know how to fix it because of the nature of the way our community is built out. I don't know how we fix it unless we cut services. But what are we gonna cut? Cut the rec
Maybe we do
programs?
need to have that conversation.
Cut the parade, cut the, I don't know, what do we cut? We've cut already quite a few things. We used to do a tree lighting ceremony, we used to do a New Year's Eve big block party, we used to do a lot of things that we don't do anymore. And things are so much more expensive than they used to be. So I don't know how to fix it without lowering the level of service. And maybe, I don't know, what do you do? Just tell people, okay, well, I don't know. I know that that's not what our
And
community
like we
wants.
said, enough time and money, you can do anything.
Well, maybe we should have a detailed conversation of what lowering service looks like.
Yeah.
Because we keep saying that, but I really don't know what that means.
I don't either, because what do? You don't have first responders, you can't do that. You don't have parks, because people like parks, and you sell parks, you sell properties, I mean, that's not good. I know some cities have resorted to those things, but those are also one-time, cuts.
I mean, I
And they
hate,
can't
as
forever
a city,
fund.
I've always said you never want to sell any of your property,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I'm not sure what we're doing with that piece at the top of Crestwood.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how you pay for a fire station. I don't know. I hate to
That's
give it
what
up.
Farmington did. Farmington
That's
sold
exactly what
some
Farmington
property.
did. They sold that
Yep,
piece out on North Main.
They did.
The old Potter Farm out there.
Yeah.
And caught a fire.
I mean,
Is that Crestwood
should
property
probably
deed
explore that.
restricted though?
well, that particular one is, but we've got pocket parks. I mean, we have properties that the city owns. Of course, we don't want to part with things, but
I know, I've always been an advocate of never selling city property.
but that's what cities
But we
do.
probably have 5 extra acres that sit behind the shops down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
We
know.
lease
Yeah.
to a landscape company. I don't know what our lease
Yeah.
prices are.
In our projections of 20, 30 years, are we ever gonna use that property? If not, do we need to make it work for us other ways? I don't know.
I think we are planning on using that as part of the office center build out,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, and if you start selling parks, obviously,
I hate
it's
selling
obviously
parks.
bad, but that's kind of like dipping into fund balance. It's like, well, one-time use and that's gone forever now.
Well, but if you put it into a long-term capital project, I'm not suggesting
Oh,
we do
right.
it. I'm not suggesting we do it. It is a one-time
No,
fix.
you also, like you say,
Right.
you sell that piece at the top of Crestwood Road, yes, it increases, but it also increases more property tax, more revenue, but it also increases the need for services
Yes.
and all that stuff, but you have to
Exactly.
look at what is your return.
So we gotta look at our impact fees.
Exactly. I think we increase impact fees.
Since it's not built out though,
Yeah.
I mean,
Impact fees are huge.
yeah.
Or we need to attract more businesses on North
We do.
Main,
We do, we need more businesses.
because we can't
also.
get more businesses here.
No,
Yeah.
But North Main we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
tried
the ways to do that are to create those CRAs so that we can open up opportunities for redevelopment and for entities to help us redevelop.
We also have to have buy-in from the property owners,
Yeah.
unless we want to exercise eminent domain, which no
Well,
one
but
wants
we-
to do.
That
I
also
don't know why I
helps.
said that out loud, it's like I swear. word.
Building out down there, and it's not service, it's not income, tax income, right?
Right,
We need more taxable income.
Yes.
Businesses there,
yes.
not just businesses.
Yes.
Yes,
That's what we
right.
need.
I mean, I think we could have gotten that CRA across the finish line if we didn't include a bunch of people's homes. in-
Yeah, that is true.
I mean,
And so,
and that CRA, remember, was just kind of like, not a lot, right? We weren't projecting, what, little more than $5 million maybe?
Yeah.
And
right.
in new property tax revenue, so it's,
I thought it was maybe up to 10, but.
yeah,
maybe
it's
a wish
just
list.
pretty limited in opportunity. And there's a couple of key properties that maybe one day will develop and be something great, but
There are little slivers of properties though, around the city that we're not maintaining, we're not doing anything with. The property owners may be willing just to buy them. But we can't do anything with them, just little
Yeah.
tiny 10 by 10 pieces of property,
It's true,
unless it's blocking a road.
I know. What did you say?
that's
Mike?
true. That's a good point.
That's why Kaysville's a great place to live. We're generous and we are a wonderful community.
Give it to them, I like it, and then increase the taxes on that property.
Yeah, exactly. It was on a commercial and then give it to them. Anyway, well,
So we still have another slide to go through,
Um,
right?
What else do
I
we
just
have?
this fund balance tab if you want
what?
to play the same game.
Thought we were done.
So this is what is being budgeted with paid for with fund balance, for fiscal year 27.
you know, it would be nice when we do have our meetings with all the director heads. Next year, go line by line and hear the justification, the pros and cons. Keep it in the
That
budget.
really would take a very long time.
Well, I mean, we're willing to go through it, because considering the state we're in, I think,
Yes, and that's fair. I mean, I don't know if Jason wants to
I
speak to
think,
kind of our strategies for next year.
Yeah, I mean, great time to bring that up. I think we talked about this earlier today and earlier this week, that I don't know if the council wants to commit that kind of time. I guess you're just thinking, we just don't spend enough time talking about budget, so let's schedule like 10 more of these. I'm just joking, obviously, but I think if there were a council member or two that wanted to be a part of a committee,
Yeah.
that we could take a deep dive on each line item, and then somebody could say, you know what, I've seen it all, I feel comfortable, or here's what we discovered, kind of report back, because,
or maybe we kind of split it up and all do.
I'd like you to do it all, Nate.
What if we did it during our council meetings
Just like an hour before each one or something.
or something, or just invite one of them in,
Yeah.
and we can talk about it then,
So
incorporate it.
why are we doing the 200,000 concrete bleacher upgrade?
I forget how old Barnes Park is, but those are just 20, 30-something-year-old, right? They're deteriorating, it's kind of a tripping hazard and some of the concrete, and
Where are concrete
So Phil-
bleachers? I don't even know where they are.
Are there concrete ones there now? Or are they just
Are they just trying to
metal?
replace the
Or just replace
aluminum
them with
ones
concrete.
with concrete?
What if we just put new aluminum ones in there? Let's save us anything to do that.
Kick that down the road again.
There's no way, 200
We
grand.
probably just need to determine if there's a safety hazard.
There definitely is. I almost like. cut
It's
my
a
shin
safety
open the other
hazard.
day.
I know that's why it came up.
But if they've lasted 30 years already, just being aluminum, there's supposed to be more aluminum ones in there.
Duct tape.
See, and it's like this
I
one
like
right
duct
here. We spend a ton of money when we replace this building to do this. It
What is
works, not great, but it
Yeah,
works.
I know,
Take it out.
yeah.
Take it out?
Yeah, take it out.
Okie
The
dokie.
EV system?
I mean, yeah, because it doesn't work great. but
Well,
it
what does
works.
that, what does that mean, take it out? Like, we still have mics, right?
Well,
The system we have now.
Just not
okay,
upgrade it? Okay.
remember when we had the Symphony Homes public hearing and we actually lost internet connection for like 20 minutes or something? I mean, it's a problem. Every time it's like, ooh, is it going to work tonight? And I mean, we could wait, but ultimately, this is not a system that's working.
How often does it?
That was one time.
Almost
Every time.
We have a problem, almost
Every council
Planning,
meeting?
planning
It's-
commission, every planning commission, any other meetings, we have a problem. You guys just don't see it.
Right.
Because we
There's so many
fix it
things
before
duct
the
taped
meeting.
together around here that
But how does it fix itself? I mean, that's what I'm saying. If
That's
it doesn't get
IT.
fixed.
I'm
IT's
actually
here
okay with
all the
keeping it
time.
in there for transparency. I think it's a transparency
the reason why
Opportunity to keep
the reason why we don't see it so much during
Maybe we
work
should
count.
Yeah, let's,
Okay, go ahead,
Well,
Jason.
back to the AV, I mean, that's a great point. All right, so we had IT here every single night we have council meeting. They're back in the back room just making sure everything's not going to fall apart. They're not here during planning commission meetings. And that one meeting where we had the big symphony meeting where there were, gosh, what, 50 people in the room?
Yep.
And it went down, no one was here from IT, and it just happened to be that Ryan was in the area and he was able to come right in and we only went down for about 15, 20 minutes. And that was a really lucky call. But I mean, obviously really bad optics for the city that all of a sudden people are trying to watch this important meeting and no feed, no explanation of what's going on. So
I have a question. Are they recorded though? Even though it goes down online,
No.
is it still recorded?
Everything goes
it's
down.
down, system's
Are we
down.
paying
Start
overtime
over.
for people to be here?
Yeah,
So maybe that does pay for itself. I mean, if we're
I
paying
don't know, I
overtime for
just
people
know
to be
that we
here.
spent a lot of money when we did the
Yeah,
remodel
but
here
it's
to
a
get a
basic
whole new
system that
system.
is not working anymore.
unfortunately it's value
Oh,
engineered,
Let's get our
but
money back.
No kidding.
He's
That's
trying,
what I'm saying.
right? We
I know.
didn't pay them.
Yeah, they didn't pay him for,
We did not pay them.
yeah, we walked away from it. And they agreed.
it's something that's been a need for many years and it just isn't going to go away. We've tried different ways to fix it, but
What about
Mike, we're all trying. I think we all just value things differently.
Yeah.
the 3 patrol and 1 detective vehicle? Is there any way to squeeze out a little more time?
No.
So is
We
that
already
in
have
addition
8-year-old
to,
vehicle.
is that 351 there in addition to their already vehicle that they have in their line item, or is
No,
that? the-
that is the line item.
That's the line item.
Yeah.
They just took that out of their budget? and
No,
put it
I'm
into
just suggesting fund balance instead of choose taxation. Because last year they took it out a little bit to get rifle replacements instead of equipment. So they did like, last year, meaning fiscal year 26, they did like 1 vehicle instead of the 4. And so now we're putting that back in.
Okay, just to clarify, this is already included in that 20%. What we're talking about from fund balance.
None of this affects the 20%.
Okay, it's already included.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
the
We're just
issue,
saying what can we do
no, the issue here is we're using 991.
From fund balance.
From fund balance. If you were to remove some, the advantage of using the 991 right now is that there's a hypothetical, I'm saying hypothetical, that it will follow next year's plan, which is that we were off by 900-ish thousand.
We won't be though.
You're
Not for
saying-
27, for 26.
For 26, yeah.
For 26, we may be off.
Correct.
So, which would mean that this actually wouldn't end up coming from fund balance. It would wash itself away.
Can we just go through this line by line and do a straw poll on each thing and talk about it? Because I feel like we're
Well, it'll
going
limit
through
with that-
different,
that
we're all over the
94
place.
From fiscal.
Well,
And it's more efficient.
The other thing I'm
That
trying
will
to get at
be-
is, this is 991 fund
That
balance
would
this
be
year.
more from
But that's a one-time
property taxes
purchase.
or any
That's a
other
one-time
revenues.
purchase. That would drop that right there.
All of these are one time.
You're right,
Yeah.
we want to get rid of as many things on here as we can,
I
but I
just-
think we need to go through one at a time.
We
and
did
figure out-
go, yes, we can, that's fine, but we did present this at the March meeting and department head spoke to each of these items.
Right, I don't know that we need a detailed explanation so
Okay.
much as a straw poll of what are we keeping, what are we getting rid of.
Great.
Fire station struggle fix.
I think you
How
can get
bad
rid of
is
it.
Pretty
Oh,
bad,
sorry.
I think the
Okay.
wall's
Never
falling
mind.
off.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Okay.
wall, the
That's
what,
coming up?
yes. There's water damage.
My bad. I thought it was cosmetic only.
No.
Cosmetic.
One-time funds.
This
one-time
is,
things.
this is.
The thing about some of these too is like, if we don't fix that, water damaged
have mold.
wall, it's just gonna get worse and more expensive. And so,
Okay.
Raise your hand if you want to keep it.
I guess.
Or nod your head.
I don't,
Okay,
I haven't
keep
seen
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on what Jason said.
Yeah.
HVAC
Sorry.
replacements, what's that?
That right there is they gotta replace some units in the police station.
No, these two
This was the
are,
fire station, right?
I think this is the rec building and public works,
But I remember Cole talking about it.
HVAC.
The rec building and public, well, isn't Public Works in a new building? Are we
No,
gonna-
that's the old building where they're basically working in closets.
No, I know that. Are we gonna be remodeling that soon though?
You guys just took it off.
Oh, we did take it off.
No, wait, no, we
No, we
didn't.
didn't.
No, we didn't.
If the fire.
No, we
No, we
changed
talked
it.
about
We
adding
just said
bonds
move it-
together.
Yeah, we just
Oh,
Flipped
my
it.
and we
mistake.
said don't take the
Yeah, yeah,
75 out of.
So if we're gonna remodel their
Replace.
building, we don't need to give them new HVAC systems right now, right? Maybe
Isn't
we
making
do.
it, is,
I mean,
the section
they
that
still
we're
are gonna live
remodeling
through the
might
summer.
be different?
Is it different?
I don't know. I thought, Jason, I thought you said they would start right away.
But remodeling isn't like the full kit and caboodle. It's like adding space, adding office space, taking out the front, making that driveway bigger, the asphalt, the yard, the covered spaces, right? It's not like plumbing, electric.
You're talking about.
The design was adding office spaces.
right,
But if we add office spaces, don't we need new
That's the
HVAC
6
equipment
million, I
anyway?
thought.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
part of the
I
6
mean,
million.
I can't speak to it. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
yeah, I'm trying to remember, there's a good reason I wish Cole were here on this one. But
He said it's one at the op center that's 34 years old and one at the rec building that's lost its condenser. So these are like,
Those make
So they
sense.
don't work.
Yeah,
they
Okay,
don't
keep.
work.
Okay.
Okay, we need to do that.
Yep.
Okay,
We talked about council chamber AV.
Do we all want to?
And that's been put out to bid.
Say something.
That's,
Well,
There's,
I mean,
it's one vendor, I think, that
we
does
got
it.
a quote to
he's
get a
looked
budget
into this.
number.
Oh,
but-
he's done bids,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, he's
Yeah.
done bids.
He's looked at several people, and he's done this for a long time, and we're at our wits' end with this.
And this one, if I remember right, the council chambers and the EOC, if we do,
Connected.
yeah, if we do
Yes,
both, it's a
it's
cheaper
cheaper.
deal.
And then our
But
panic
that
button
price
works.
doesn't include both. That's just for council chambers.
The 115, I think,
It's both.
assumes we do EOC, which is down a little bit more.
So we don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
156.
Oh, okay. EOC is the 156.
Yeah, like
Got it.
12, sorry.
So the 115 plus 156?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that means we keep them both. That's what you're saying?
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because we can't be in a minute, okay. Okay. Fuel Master software, what's that?
So right now we have an old Fuel Master software, which is the,
Yeah, what would it
it's-
sell?
what?
No.
No, it's connected to the fuel pumps that tell, they type in their PIN and they type in how many miles they have and then it feeds in. Right now it lives on Citrix. It's really old. We're trying to get rid of Citrix, which kind of forces our hand to upgrade this to a cloud base. It affects anyone that fills up their fuel. It helps our mechanics because it can easily give them the mileage of each vehicle, which helps us create more of a maintenance schedule so we can start reaching out like your local Jiffy Lube and say, hey, you're at 5,000, you're due for a, because right now it's kind of the honor system. You got to bring it in when your sticker says you're due. A lot of people don't. Therefore, our maintenance costs are up because they're going over mileage, blah, blah, blah.
Does it
shouldn't that be
eliminate
held, shouldn't
work?
those employees be held accountable though? I think it's, if you have a car, you should be held accountable if you're not.
That is
treating them
very
well.
good point.
Does it create efficiencies? Can we eliminate a position or hours with a new system, software system? Or no, it's just a double check?
I think we'll lower maintenance costs for sure. I think we'll improve tracking of fuel and who's using it and how much. I think we'll improve Yeah, there's a lot of positives to it. I mean, reporting itself is gonna be a lot better, which will show us who's using the fuel and how often and how much and which vehicles and.
We're doing so well. Okay. UPS battery backup.
Gosh, I wish I remember this. I'm so sorry, Brian.
Yeah, I believe that one was just, we don't have it anymore, or it's not working. And so if the police go down, in order for them to continue operating, need the battery backup.
Okay, so if they're telling us they need that.
Right.
Okay.
Barnes Tower, this one, some money
We
is.
talked about that. Yeah, it's gonna fall over.
Yeah, some money is in fiscal year '26. This is just the increase of the cost of concrete for fiscal year '27. Being transparent, Cole did say this is one that he could hold off on.
Okay.
The whole 200 grand?
Yes.
Wow.
Right, Jason?
It's one that obviously it's really old but
Oh,
not
sorry.
going away forever.
Sorry, this 200,000 is the concrete tripping hazards, making each entry point 80 accessibles. The bleachers was 26. So this one is the tripping hazards, the concrete around the area is ADA compliant or accessible, trails to around the park, all of that.
But he said it's not urgent.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? So
Yes.
we could delay this?
Yes.
Oh, only 26 grand of it, or?
200,000, sorry.
200.
My cursor's on the wrong line.
Okay.
Okay, so if we took that 200 out, could we keep the amount at 991?
If you want.
Or you want to keep it at 991?
The reason I want to keep it at the only reason I've thought about keeping it at 991 is if, and maybe I'm not understanding this right, but I was under the impression that we consistently come up with that last year we anticipated it was going to be like 1.7 something, 1.9 something, remember? And it came back and it was only.
Well, and as I'm sitting here looking at this, John, I'm looking at every one of these as one-time items.
I don't understand why we're.
And so why we're even including it as next year's budget out. I mean, this year, yes, we have to because there's 900,000 of fund balance you've done there. But every one of these are one-time items. Why does that automatically mean next year it's going to be another $1 million in fund balance?
But it's also different projects that we've done.
We don't
There's
know.
always a new
Yes,
set.
ma'am.
We do know what next year's are?
No, sorry, but fiscal year '26 fund balance items are right there.
Right.
Those are all different than the
They're
fiscal year
done.
'27.
They're done. They're gone.
But
They're done.
what she's saying is that they're usually around 900,
That's
Well,
just
no,
been,
like you said, they were 1.8 and it went to 900.
right?
yeah, that's,
But, yeah, but also the amount that we ended up getting for sales tax ended up being like 900,000 or $950,000 more than
Right.
what we thought. And so this year, could that happen again, that we end up with 900,000 more than we thought?
not
don't think
in
we can
sales
bank on
tax?
it.
Well, isn't that what you said that we ended up with?
No.
After the,
It's related to how we were budgeting expenditures.
so we spent 900 less than what we thought we were gonna spend?
Yes, because,
But you've already anticipated that we won't spend as much this time around, so
Correct.
most likely that won't happen again.
That
not for
shouldn't-
'27, correct.
Right.
Now I'm even more interested to see what my 4 years of a 20% tax increase would do with no fund balance being included, because we don't know what they are yet, just.
I didn't
humor-
include fund balance.
humor me.
28 going forward, I did not include any use of fund
But
balance.
you told me we still had to use another $1 million, that's what you said.
In
to me.
27,
And 28 you said.
no
yeah.
way.
Just 27.
28 is capital, it's not general fund balance, it's different funds.
Okay.
Yeah, so what would the 200, like, moving that 200 over to the truth and taxation side of things?
The only reason that's problematic, which might be a strong word, is now you're underfunding ongoing expenses. Fund balance is for one-stop shop,
Right.
one-time expenses. Truth and taxation is for, as Mike says, the gift that keeps on giving.
Staff.
Inflation, staff, operation increases. So
Okay,
that's.
okay, so maybe I was confused. I thought in this case we were using monies that we didn't have to lower the amount that we were gonna incur through the truth and taxation. Were we not?
We are. We're gonna use, we talked about using some of
Sounds
those
like a
enterprise
pavilion
funds.
restroom probably needs to be fixed. Does it not work at all?
It's like the shingles and the,
Cole will tell you in just a second.
Mortar issues too.
But
40
in the
years
past-
old,
so in the
needs a
past,
new
we've
roof,
used-
interior finishes, pavilion's 40 years old, needs new
used some
roof,
money
paint.
from the rainy day fund to help.
They're just old.
Right.
So again,
But
this is
this year,
another
we're not
one that
gonna
we
use
just
any rainy
ignored,
day?
and instead of doing
Okay.
maintenance over the years, now it's all broke going
How
out.
much?
So.
No, now
Are
it's
you okay with that?
7.2.
Fixing the restroom?
We're still on the
Right, now
58.
it's 9,
Yes.
now it's 791.
I mean, yeah.
You've got 3 yeahs, right? Nate?
Great.
3 yeah? Okay, water conservation at fire station, that is flipping the strip, right? Flipping
Yeah.
the.
And didn't Cole say there might be the potential for?
Correct.
There's a
He did say that.
It's like $2.50 a square foot, I think. And we should get a discount from Rock.
Yeah.
Geneva Rock. I called them a couple years ago and said, hey, if Kaysville calls you on a certain day, will you give us a discount if we all flip our strips at a certain day? They said they would consider it, so I'm gonna follow up on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a bulk rate or something, or. No, I don't know. I was just saying, if cities, could you have certain city days and just say, okay, if you're from Kaysville on this date or during this week, you get a discount?
Wouldn't that be slick? That's a great idea.
Yeah, right? It'd be
It is a
good
good idea.
PR for them.
That's what you were just talking about the other day.
Good PR, we could have a little
Get
county
a
contest.
discount on a day for flipping your strip to get rock or whatever else. That's what she was talking about. That's a great idea.
And, yeah, Coal City is applying for grants for that 30,000, so if we get the grants, then that goes down or
Oh,
goes
good
away.
job.
Money
Okay.
saved.
So should we not include it then if we're going for grants? Because
Well, I mean, if we don't get the grants, I mean, it's,
if you do get the grants and suddenly they get 30,000 on top of it, that's just sitting there.
Take it off.
Right, but
then it
it'll-
just
it'll
goes back
land
into
back
fund
in the fund
balance.
It'll go back
It's
to
great.
general fund.
Yeah.
Take it off.
Okay.
Take it off.
what, if we don't get the grant?
It's
Don't
conservative
do
to
it.
leave it on, and then it'll just, if we don't spend it, it'll go back in the fund balance.
If it's not, if your plan isn't to use the saved money to lower the amount that we're gonna put on the citizens, then I think that we should probably do the tower and everything. I mean, it doesn't make any sense why why would we delay it if it's coming out of a pot that's not incurring an increase in taxes?
Because it's decreasing our fund balance.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
care about that.
but will it come out of fund, won't it come out of fund balance next year, the bleachers and the?
Not including anything in fund balance
You
next
will
year.
eventually.
I
Nothing.
mean, it's gotta be paid for one way or the other. It's only gonna get more expensive. It needs to be done. I mean, whether it's this year, next year, I
I
don't know.
mean, if we were talking about like, oh, we can push this 200 to next year, and then now that's gonna be 200 less that we have to do on truth and taxation, okay, now you're talking, but if that's not gonna happen, then I would probably
I would
say,
love to see us.
then I'd probably say keep it on there. I mean,
Yeah, but I'd love to see us knock this fund balance down to 500,000 and then add, and then next year we'll use $500,000 of fund balance to
Yeah.
keep our taxes down.
We should maybe have capital.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think
There's,
that's great.
there's a
'Cause
100
we
ways to
keep-
skin a cat.
we
I
keep
said
doing
it.
this, and it's just like never ending.
As long as they're-
We need these-
Okay,
I
so
see where you're
if,
coming from though, John.
if that's our plan, maybe we put it back to staff and say, bring it down to 500,000, and you guys prioritize these, because we literally don't know.
Why 500 though? That's
I
just
don't-
an
I don't-
arbitrary.
I don't, well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Number. I'm-
500 or.
sure.
You know, because I don't know.
I
don't
know,
how to
I'm sorry,
prioritize
maybe
these
it's not a
things.
fair question, but it's just, I could ask the same question with why do you want the tax rate below 20 when we're showing you the needs and I get it, all the political hoopla with it, but
Well, not even that, it's just, it's actual dollars.
So I have a question.
yes, but there's actual
How
needs
much do
too.
we expect our fund balance to grow?
We don't.
Okay, then I think that comes back to the point of we have to, we can't spend that much. Every year we'll find enough to spend that much, and we're gonna be zero.
Unless we
You
do.
have like an old lady with a can that says like, fund the Barnes Tower,
I like the idea
fund the
of
Barnes
bumping this
Tower.
back to the director heads and saying, okay, 500,000, figure it out.
And let them prioritize what they think is
And if there is
best.
a real need
They know.
that's like a danger to the community, then let's talk about that. But
I mean, this is their wish list, and I'm sure they've really prioritized what they really do wish we would do. And if we aren't comfortable with that amount, I think it is fair to say, okay, Jason, you go talk, and you guys figure out what you can do with 500,000.
yeah, the Barnes Park Pavilion restroom work, yeah, so the roof leaks a little bit. Hardly ever rains. No one goes to parks when it rains. So
Really?
I think there are probably ways to
See, I don't even know.
whittle this down.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's where we are. It's like, but at some point, when are we going to replace, that 40-year-old roof?
But then I think that has to go back to taxes, right?
We just don't have the money for it.
So we increase the amount we need in taxes for the Parks Department by a little bit, and they can save up, after 3 years and actually do that project. I think we need to start thinking more in lines of that.
That's fine, but you also just cut
Yeah, we just
taxes
cut
and you're gonna
taxes.
cut projects, so there's never gonna be savings to be able to do that.
But that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get that bottom line down, whether that means cutting taxes and cutting some projects. We're trying to get the number down. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stop that number that has seemed to have grown exponentially in the last 4 years. We're trying to slow that down, get it down to a manageable percent.
We have to figure it out.
You got to,
Yeah.
because if we don't, and that's what we're talking about, every dollar matters at this point. Every single
Yeah.
dollar matters at this point.
So to Nate's point, what if we were to put, and what I was kind of trying to say earlier, what if we were to put in an amount into the truth in taxation that is just supposed to be building up, because everything in the truth in taxation is attached to something, and so we're not really growing. So if we were to put in 200,000 and say, okay, this year it's going for these bleachers, next year it's going to be for whatever, we would be increasing what we're doing a little bit this year, but it would, in theory, I mean, I don't know, everything's going to eat my inflation, but in theory, we could then roll that over to something else. I don't want to say overcharging, but adding a little bit extra, kind of to Mike's point too, of 20% each year until we're at where we want to be. I just think this year we've cut so much, and it's not going to get us where we want to be in the next. So that's what I'm saying. Add 200,000 or however much. I don't know. Use it for something this year and carry it over for the next year. It's a small amount, but it'll do something.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I would, yeah.
Because we were looking at 32%. I don't feel bad about any of the things we've taken off of the truth in taxation. I mean, I don't love it, but I think if we've gotten it down to 21% and 22, what if we put it to like 23 or something?
24.
And use that money to start getting on top of these things, or whatever. Not necessarily. I don't know. Not even a full percent. I have no idea the money amounts, but $200,000. Oof.
I don't think, I just don't think that's a great idea. I mean, I get it in theory, just because the whole purpose of truth in taxation and the whole reason that they've changed all the laws is to be completely transparent about what we're doing. And
So this year it would be transparent, but we can't account for next
We
year.
are allowed to save for projects, though.
Yeah,
That
couldn't
is
we
still
just say like
transparent. That's
project?
still.
I mean, it was an idea. We don't have to
Well,
do it.
you
but-
can save for projects, but they're supposed to be in capital accounts, aren't they?
Yeah,
Capital
and we can
improvement
transfer it
accounts.
to the capital account. So it wouldn't build general fund
So we
balance, but-
go to our residents and we say, okay, actually, we only really needed 21.9%, but we're gonna add it, 3% so that we can start building up our fund balance again, because we weren't very
But
Exactly.
careful with your money.
that's
Exactly.
Or consistent
remember
with
the
your money.
discussion they had with, that's exactly why inflation is not built into truth and taxation.
Yes, I know.
because
That's
they
what I'm
say it's
saying.
Absolutely, that's the very thing that they did not want you to do. is
Right,
have it
well,
built.
and-
So I agree, what you're saying is
Yeah.
exactly right.
Well, and I'm saying, and even there were laws that Dan McKay tried to pass that said that if you have bond payment, as soon as that bond is retired, you return that money back to the taxpayers. You don't roll it into a new bond. You don't save it in your general fund.
The other bond,
You don't keep collecting it, you return it.
Peterson had in there that says that maximum tax increase is 5%. It's coming back.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
think
what
It's not coming
I guess
back.
that's what I mean by
None of
being
those things have
transparent.
happened yet.
Well, but they will.
So why not do this now?
They
then?
will.
That's a great point.
Yeah, Abby, you made a good point, because
Because $200,000 doesn't move, I mean,
No,
what does $200,000
I
do?
mean, it's bleachers or whatever that line
Well, if you
is.
want to add the bleachers back in, it's already included in that 21%. It's already included from the fund balance.
Yeah,
number
as,
that we were-
as the,
as
yeah,
a
I mean,
percent.
adding it back in there.
As a one-time, so I'm
But
saying,
then it
if you
doesn't
want
help
the
us the next
bleachers.
years. Yeah,
I don't know how we can even use fund balance if we're not building that fund balance up.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that checks out.
Eventually you'll run out.
Exactly, and so I don't know, what's the answer? That's-
The answer is you have to be consistent with your truth in taxation and set a pace and make it repeatable and consistent.
But we'll always have, I don't know, that will answer the question with all these one-time expenditures. Every year.
There's always going to
So
be
what's the
projects.
advice?
I would say that I would love to get to the point, like Marin's pushed into the, future projections, that we don't dip into fund balance. Like, that's not part of our plan.
Right, it shouldn't
Because obviously that's not sustainable.
I think that 200 would be a great opportunity for if this person that you've spoken to is truly interested
The
in,
250?
Right.
Yeah.
donating $250,000 towards the city. I think that would be an awesome one to do, because you could actually even put something on, like, donated by
The
anonymous.
bleachers?
It's a tower,
something,
it's like, it
yeah.
seems like that would be a great opportunity to be able to pay for something like that.
Yeah.
And we don't want to use any type of donation for ongoing expenses. We would
Right.
definitely only want to use it for
Yeah.
one-time funds, and so I think that could be one of those that we should probably look at.
Get any ramp money towards that?
I mean, we could, except it's all committed right now. I mean, every year it gets recommitted, so that would be a cool question.
And you could even do the restroom and the toilets could say donated by,
Sure.
when you
Yeah,
flush,
I would
think,
donate
when
my
you,
name on a
What an
toilet for
honor.
sure.
when you flush, think anonymous.
I just want to bring up,
Here goes, anonymous.
I mean, all great points. There's so many things to think about. I just want to bring up Abby's point again of if the 5% limit comes back, what do we do?
Deal with it.
I mean, we deal with it then, fine, but that's kind of why we're here right now.
But we're not padding-
Because we
You
just keep
don't- you
we're
don't-
not
pushing
padding
things
our
down.
budget now because of
I'm not
future
asking to pad it.
legislation.
I'm asking to fund the needs instead of pushing those needs
Yeah,
down
you're
the
saying
road.
catch it up. We still need to catch it up.
We still got, we're still not even coming close to catching up to the needs that we have now without figuring future stuff that we might want to.
And the second that 5% comes back, we're screwed.
Well, I don't know if it's 5%, but it was
It was
entertained.
proposed that way, and then it went to 10, I think.
And then they said,
finally
forget it, because
died.
we're dumb. Yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm just saying, if that was, I just wanted to bring that back up.
you know,
Because nothing is gonna get better.
Nope.
Well, that's when you say, like, we've got to have businesses come in, I guess.
When the state needs to come in and start funding some of this infrastructure that they should be funding.
We
Like
expect you to do that,
Okay,
Madam Senator.
after I,
I mean,
Okay, so right at this point.
if we right-size the property tax, like the model showed before, then we get back into just capturing inflation. But right now, we're still in this discussion of, we're not funding this with property tax, so we're dipping into fund balance. But this is the only year we're proposing that. After this year, then we're looking at, like Marin said, just funding it with true taxes, paying the true cost of operating the city, and just capturing inflation. But it's painful those first couple of years to actually right-size property tax and get us up to probably somewhere around here where we should be to fund just the status quo of what we're
I
doing.
mean, in theory, if you did 20% for 4 years, that's an 80% increase.
And that's, we probably should be up here around Bountiful,
But
West
that-
Bountiful, Clinton.
That does it in a gradual way, and people
Yeah.
can help, it can help people, because people do tend to hopefully capture a little bit of inflation in their budgets, and so.
And it encourages it encourages possibly the change in mindset of, do you want, as a city, do you want to continue to keep doing this, or do you want to bring some businesses in that will help supplement that?
Well, okay, back to the chart. So the 949, are we,
that chart.
are we
Yeah.
gonna, what are we gonna do with this? Let's finish, or 791,
If
sorry.
yeah, I would say though that we really look hard on that 200. I think that'd be a great opportunity.
Okay, so we maybe try to talk to this donor person, see if
I
they'll
think so.
pitch in their 250, which they said, and then just fund the 791.
I think the range should
Is that what you're
wait
saying?
too. Sorry,
I don't know.
now I'm picking and choosing, but I think I remember talking about that, and it's essentially just that we're allowed not to have space at one of the ranges, and they want to have a shed for their stuff, but
Oh, okay, then that's,
is that what that
It's
is?
the Bountiful.
It's still there.
so they don't have to
have a
bring it every
range
time.
there.
Yeah.
So it would be, they would be able to put.
It's
they
still
sold
there.
A shed there.
She's just offering.
Well,
She's
I'm-
just
I
wondering
I
if
just
you
I was
want-
wondering if we could take it off,
Yeah.
because, I mean, I don't know that they necessarily need it this
I
year.
can't answer that one, but.
I can't either, but they have asked it for it the past,
Yeah. I remember
4,
we
5,
asked for it
6
for
years. And we
And
did
it's-
just take the drone off too, so.
No, we put the
I think
drone.
we
The
can
drone's
get
on.
that funded.
Well, the drone's hopefully going to be paid
Well,
by.
yeah, we're trying to get a donation
I
for the
think we
drone.
can get the drone. I'm confident we can get the drone.
I was like, the drone's off, I thought.
It's off and
Poor
on.
Marin is like,
Oh my
come on,
gosh, you
guys.
guys.
It's in limbo.
I have
Killing me, okay.
6 hours to make this tentative budget tomorrow, so.
Motion to close the meeting.
Okay, what
No,
are we
that's how
doing
I'm
with this
saying. I
number?
need
Okay,
answers.
guys, talk to them. Just kidding.
I don't get to put up more signs.
Okay, who wants to just, what are we doing with this budget, with this proposed fund balance transfer? Are we leaving 500 the cap, or are we gonna just fund what's there?
Oh, yeah.
Now say that again.
I said, are we wanting to cap it at 500?
Until the
1,000?
department
I
I would
has
like to
to,
see it capped at 500
That's
right
right.
now, because it's something we can change later.
Okay,
I would like to see it
Yeah.
capped at 500.
that's
If
3.
there's a really good reason to go over that, I would like to know that.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
But you guys have got to figure out what the 5 is. I don't like that arbitrary.
They go back to the departments and they decide.
yeah, but what are we
But
gonna
why
be presented on
500?
Thursday?
Right, I can make that number 500 for Thursday, but it's not gonna be a strategic
Then we can't
conversation.
go over
But it
500.
is tentative.
It's tentative, we don't have time to get all 8 department heads together tomorrow to,
Can we make it tentatively just like a 0.5%
as-
increase then on Can we just change it?
sure, I'll cut
I mean, what's the
all of
tentative? Let's
stuff.
just be honest, right?
That's fine.
Are we wanting it to be,
I don't think
are we
that's
wanting it
honest.
to really be 5 at one point in time, or are we gonna eventually go to 791 or
I
991?
want it
Is
to
it,
be 5.
huh?
I want it to be 5.
Okay, 5,
But
1.
why? Can I still ask why 500?
So if we're at 5 though,
What is 400,000 savings gonna do for us?
so 256 plus 115, I mean, $500,000 or $250,000 of that's already gone in just getting the,
Keeps us $500,000 more in
our stuff up.
But why not 600? Why not nothing? Why not? I'm just asking.
Okay, I'm good. Drop, they're all one-time purchases, take them all.
It
Well,
just,
truth and taxation and stuff? Wink, wink?
I think conversation should be, are these projects worth funding? That question number 1, are they worth funding, period? Are we fine with letting some of these things like restroom building just, continue? It's 40 years old
Becomes
now,
Waterhouse.
right?
Yeah.
And if it's the question to answer 1 is, yeah, we should probably fix that 40-year-old restroom building, then the question is it better to do it now or wait till next year, the next year when it's still going to be a need, but probably costs only go up, right? We've got one-time money now we could use, given it's lowering our fund balance, but all these projects are probably things that we'll need to fund, whether it's this year or next year, or maybe the next.
I think the big fear is the fear of lowering the fund balance and having an emergency. For me, that's
Right.
the biggest fear, is
Yeah.
taking
For
that
sure.
down and having
So-
an emergency. And I think
Very
that's
fair
why we're
question.
trying to lower the number, not because we don't think these things are valid and useful and needing to be funded in the future. And I also understand the fact that they'll likely become more expensive, which is a big argument for just leaving it. But to me, I worry that we're gonna take this down and then something's gonna happen and we're gonna be in trouble.
Right.
Probably the issue with
Very fair
increasing property tax to pay for these things is that they're one-time things. And the nice thing would be using property taxes to only pay for ongoing
That's what it's
expenses.
supposed to be for, yes.
Right.
And I know that what you're saying is that there's always gonna be projects, right? That's your
But
point,
that
is
is-
that there
that
will
is
always
true.
be projects
We're a
that
city.
will be part of what should be part of ongoing expenses.
Yes.
So that makes sense, and I get it, and I understand the
I mean,
concept.
I don't know that maybe Saul or somebody can't look at that and go, you know what, I didn't buy all the guns that I thought I was gonna buy this year. I'll probably have about $8,900. I'll just go buy a shed this year.
Sure,
And that does
That's why I
happen.
say-
that does happen.
Yeah, and that's why I say I'd like to go dropping it down
Okay,
and then letting these guys look and see, maybe I have money elsewhere
I think we
that I
need to have a
can.
strict policy
I
in
agree
place.
too.
Until I know how we're gonna build up that fund balance again.
We
I
haven't cap on
don't.
how
We
much.
can't keep doing this.
Right. Agree with you.
And 3 patrol vehicles and one
Trying to
executive.
do-
No, he's saying
So
policy,
hard.
you can't.
That won't be changed by.
I know, but-
Okay, so are we good with capping it right now at 500 and having them make a case if it needs to be more than that?
Sure.
Picking and choosing the projects.
Seems like that.
So tentative budget on Thursday night should show a 21% tax increase. and
20.97.
7.
How much?
21.97.
21.9, okay, 22, and 500,000 capital. And that's it. That should be a budget we should approve. And then say we're doing truth and taxation.
And enterprise fund will stay how we presented last Friday, correct? Enterprise funds will stay how we presented on Friday.
I say no. I say
Well-
We're talking about the rates.
I say we raise the rates instead of the percents. I say we raise the rates of the inflation.
Oh, for the enterprise funds.
Yeah, enterprise funds, we only, we took the costs last year and we raised them, and now this year, I'm not saying don't raise them, I'm saying raise them what inflation is, raise them
Yeah.
3%.
Match inflation.
Raise them 3%.
Wait. Is inflation 3% or is cost of living 3%?
Inflation, it said the inflation in Utah right now is supposedly between 2.5% and 3.5%, so I figured 3%.
I think we're running across the
I'm asking the
same
Google
problem we
machine, that's all
saw.
I can go by.
I think we're running across the same problem we saw with the tax increases. I don't think rates increased when we were experiencing that unprecedented inflation. Maybe they did, but if they didn't increase when we were hitting that inflation, then we're behind again.
I feel like we should break out the Waterworth model again if we're going to adjust rates, just so we're really clear about, hey, if we do it differently, what does that mean for next year, just to hold ourselves accountable. But remember, we're only talking about, what, $1.69 on the actual impact to residents it was minimal. It was going to be more right-sizing the rate for the commercial, which have been underbilled or not billed really where they should be for a number of
Their
years.
consumption has been higher than what we've been billing,
Yeah.
and residents have been subsidizing it.
And I think we've been subsidizing those commercial
Water and electric.
Water and-
businesses too long. So I think the enterprise funds are great because we're trying to just charge the commercial businesses what they should be charged.
Residents for power, I just want to add real quick,
No.
residents for power going into summer are going to actually be paying less.
That's right.
Yeah.
Than they've paid for summer traditionally. Because that top tier, the base rate is going up 25 cents. The 2 tiers are unchanged, and then the very top end tier is actually going down.
So in that case, maybe we keep them the way they are.
It will, at least for this, through this tentative
Through this
budget.
year, yeah.
And then,
And then we can have another
can
meeting
have
or.
another
And then we raise
Right.
impact fees when we get the study
Because
back.
we can speak to
Okay.
that as we talk about the other.
and most of the enterprise fund, well, I shouldn't say most, but the largest dollar amounts are pass-through costs too, from
Right,
our
from-
partners that we work with.
Right.
The portion that we can control, it's late, so maybe this number is wrong, but it's like $1.68 on water and power, like we're maybe increasing it maybe $2 or $3.
Kaysville City's fees
Kaysville's, yeah.
that we can control. The rest is sewer district, sanitation.
Right. All pass-through
Haulers,
costs that
yeah.
we don't control really, so. But we can,
We'll look at it.
revisit those at some point. I mean, I just say, let's take the time to make sure we're understanding.
So we
it.
obviously are gonna have another work session.
Yeah, do we want to schedule another enterprise fund work session for maybe next week?
Let's figure that out on the council night.
We-
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
question. Is it the council's desire to have a live water worth session instead of just a screenshot?
Yes.
We did that last.
We would like
Yeah.
to see the
Yeah.
numbers
Yes, where
move.
we can put the
Like that.
numbers and change the percentage.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And tonight was fantastic, thank you.
Thank
Yeah, it's
you.
been really good.
Thanks.
It's painful.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'd say it's been great. I
Tried.
think probably going to be some upset staff about this, most likely because we're not approving what we approved last year. I would say that they're probably going to be discouraged about that. But, you know, like Tammy pointed out, it's a different, the mayor pointed out, it's a different time. We're at war and
Yeah, and that's a fair comment. I think we just want to know
The
what to
direction.
do and the direction and the
But we are
goals.
approving and I think we should definitely look at like one bond to do our projects, because I
Great.
think it'll save money. And we are approving that, the op center, potentially to have that
Yeah.
remodeled. So, I mean, we've got projects in here. I know that, you know, it's not everything that probably would like to be done or prioritized, but we're doing the best we can.
I think staff knows that.
Yes, we are
Honestly.
approving the 6-point-something million bond for the op center right now.
That's what I'm hearing.
I thought it was because it's.
With the transfer from
because
enterprise to
We're
cover
taking that
general fund.
67,000 from the payment, putting it back into the capital account, and it will all be paid by the capital account. It's not part of our budget.
This is not
Okay.
reflected in this, right?
And
Right?
so you're saying that we will bond and redo the op center?
I'm saying that that's what was included, and I thought that that's what we talked about, as long as that 67,000 or whatever isn't from the truth and taxation increase.
Right.
It is in the enterprise fund, and the enterprise fund will pay for that building.
67,000 will pay what?
It was
General
part of the
fund's
payment.
portion
It was the general fund portion of
Of
the
the
payment.
bond payment.
Okay, so you're taking that completely out, but you're still planning on bonding the 6.9 million this year?
4, yeah.
Next?
I thought that's
That
what we
is in the-
agreed.
Right.
Because
That
it was already
will-
in the budget.
Yeah, that would be
Is
in
that not what we
its-
agreed on?
Yes, that's what I heard. That will be in the tentative budget on Thursday.
Yeah, 'cause we
Is
kind
that
of-
what you thought we were
Well,
doing?
we went kind of back and forth.
Yeah, we went back and
But
forth.
Jason, you convinced me to move forward, and the mayor, on this plan, to move forward with that bond.
Because I thought if we could bond for the school and this capital project at the same time, we probably will get some
Okay, if
savings.
there's a $6.9 million shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to increase rates again to make that payment?
Yes, sir.
Then my answer would be no.
Wait, okay, so,
That's what the increase is this year, and then we showed you on Friday how the increase has to go the next few years as well for other projects that are on our
okay,
plan.
okay.
The current fiscal year 27, that increase includes all the op center though, if that's what you're.
Minus that 67,000 that we now
Minus the
have.
67,000.
But
Yes,
that
but not
will be
including
minuscule.
increased rates. That's what we haven't talked about rate increases, and that's what you're talking about, right?
We did,
We're gonna have to raise rates to pay the $6.9 million bond.
Okay, I didn't realize
I'm
that.
not-
Which is
Yes,
included,
but that's
which has already been included in,
It was
What we showed on Friday.
We haven't approved that budget.
right.
Yeah.
And it's a $6.4 million bond that would be this, coming year. But again, there's projects all throughout the future in those enterprise funds. We've got a big water tank project that's going to have to be bonded for in a few years. Like, there's just a lot of projects. So if we're going to do it, I don't know that there's a better time to do it. If we do it in a few years, then we're looking at some other big costs at the same time that would start up.
See,
So
there's other
just trying to
costs in
smooth
there.
out that cost.
Okay, because you made some comments earlier. You said if the bond passes in November, we're going to immediately start with design because we put money aside for that. That's a whole bunch more than $30,000.
We'd have to do a budget amendment, I think, if if the
design.
bond
The
passes.
design's gonna be
For the fire
about
station.
6% of the total cost.
Right.
Which would be like hundreds of thousands of dollars that we
Easily.
would have to come up with this year's budget. I'm saying, even if the bond passes,
Oh, for the fire
it needs to go to the 28, tentative, to 28 budget to fund,
For the fire station.
for the fire
Yeah,
station.
okay, I
But
agree.
in the meantime, I'm not in for a $6.9 million bond for the shop
Okay,
if it's gonna require an additional increase in 27 to do so in 28.
I thought it wasn't.
It's not an
It not-
additional, it's what we've already presented.
No, I mean,
Already in there.
Correct.
Okay, you'll be able to show us that in the water model when we do the water
Correct.
model. Okay,
Yeah.
because my understanding was it doesn't, it's not increasing.
it's not
It's
increasing.
not
Right.
increasing what we already looked at tonight.
Well, okay, we're talking about enterprise
Two
funds.
different-
Right. enterprise
So,
funds.
yeah, that $1.69 impact per month and stuff for, I can't remember
For
the numbers.
electric or
$1.69 for water a month?
Yeah.
And then electric was $2, I can't remember now. But it was, that includes the $6.4 million bond payment.
That's already done.
It's already in
That's what I
there.
understood, is that,
I wasn't clear.
okay,
I was not clear on
That is already in
are you okay with
this.
that?
Yep, there we go.
So electric is going up 31 cents.
31 cents, yeah, there we go, 31 cents and $1.63. That's baked in already. The $6.4 million bond is baked into those numbers.
Correct.
And for anyone who's watching, I just want to remind them that we now have lowered what we think property taxes will be. So
Correct.
even if someone's maybe taking a picture of this screen, it's not 100% accurate.
Correct.
That's a good point. The 1480 is now what, $10?
$10.99 or something.
it. So it's down to about $20 a month?
Yeah.
For the total increase,
10, 11.
The
right?
total, and that includes $6.8 million or
Correct.
$9 million dollars for the shop.
Yes,
Okay, that's what
sir.
I understood, I just want to make sure we're clear.
Yes. Thank you for
So
clarifying.
Mike, you're good.
We'll look at it. Good right now. Good right now.
I will bring it on
Want us all to
Thursday.
be unified.
I want us to be too, because we all hate property taxes, we all want to say no to this,
For sure.
but we made commitments last year.
So while sewer's got 2 stars by it up there, and it says pass-through costs. They already increased their stuff 2 times last year. Is this increase the $325 per month? Is that just for our administrative costs, or is that also going to them too?
$3 goes to them, 25 cents is ours.
They did another increase
They
on
did
us besides
another
the 2 they
increase.
did last
The
year.
sewer
Correct.
district, without any public.
So why don't we just say?
They had their
collect
meetings
your
in
own money
December,
and
I
get
think.
rid of it?
Yeah.
Why are we doing their utility? Why don't we just drop it?
I think Josh,
Is there an agreement or something that we made somehow? I think Josh. was
Josh
saying-
spoke to the history of pressure irrigation. I think it's similar to sewer where we don't own the infrastructure, therefore we're not on the hook for those capital costs.
I understand.
I think there's positive there. If we don't do their billing, I think we'll have to have our own sewer system.
No, they own the sewer system, they're not giving that up.
Well, if we
Why
don't do
they
the
just
building, then
become
we'll
their
probably
utility? I'm just
charge
saying,
us
why
more,
are we
right?
doing that? At one time when we started doing this, there was very few people working down there. They have full staff, big department, they have a whole dang huge budget, they have 3 cities that they do this for, they should be. And I know that the other cities around here are trying to figure out why
They would still
they're
be
doing their
audited.
administrative work. We should be out of
They
this.
still do.
Yeah, they should have their own
So-
audited financials.
A lot of
just so I'm-
cities bill for sewer, I don't know.
Just so I'm clear, this picture that I took of like home values and the monthly increase on a $1.2 million home was $1,758. That includes this bond payment
Yes,
increase,
Yes.
right? At the rates, plus our truth in taxation at 22%.
yes,
That's all included in that $17
and 58
and
cents.
58 cents a month.
Yes,
Okay.
And Josh reminded me too that we have existing agreements with the sewer district, that there's no sunset on them. So there's really kind of legal binding documents that we're going to build for them.
Who made that agreement?
I don't know.
Was it
Not
It
us.
does smell like smoke.
Nobody in this.
Okay,
I
I'm not
think it
making
was
that
Yeah,
up.
it smells like smoke right now.
Smells like,
It does smell
Like
smoke
a
right
cat,
now.
like a fire, like a bonfire.
It smells like.
Campfire.
it smells like
That's
smoke.
why I'm going to replace audiovisual.
It's the smoke coming out of my ears.
That's happened,
It really
that's,
does.
that would happen when you don't
you
upgrade
feel
concrete.
a breeze? I feel like there's
It's
a breeze
cold.
coming from
It's
outside.
Hazard to a bonfire.
There is a breeze.
There is smoke.
It smells like wood, it doesn't smell like electrical.
It does smell like smoke.
Yeah.
It smells like.
Glad you know,
fire.
Mike.
Just being specific about that. We just went with smoke.
Don't you think we should call somebody?
Chief's around somewhere.
I think Chief's around, honestly.
He's probably just.
Walk outside, how about you smell it outside?
If anybody's listening, save
You
us
guys-
some fire.
I'm not calling.
Are we adjourning this?
John, we need one more
No,
course.
no.
Wait, do we need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I have no idea.
I
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's bizarre.
Visual.
Walk outside, see if it's not outside.
Did that count
All
as
the
adjourning?
thinking going on.
Oh,
Of rain.
I thought people were talking.
Is this nitro?
Then I have to be.
We just motioned to adjourn. Yeah.
I gotta do that more often.
Hey, if I can smell it, it's bad, 'cause I have like no sense of smell.
It's a monster, no, it's a monster drink.
We're sitting in a meeting, I can see Jason. I smell smoke. What?
Have you ever had it? It's like a cream.
Time to go.
Or just pull the fire though.
You didn't get that from there.
No, I just take the can and pour it in, and then I pour water.
I don't have this.
It helps me stay away.
I need to do their zero sugars, but I love.
Oh, no, this one's not zero. It's got like, I kind of look at it like, dude, look, I'm okay with a little bit of sugar.
Well, I love, have you had the Viking berry?